Good evening and welcome to another exciting show. And tonight we're joined by Helen, and very soon we're going to link up with Food for Thought Radio. But in the meantime, you might be on to hear my little tiny intro tune, although we could wait until afterwards because it might muddle up with Food for Thought Radio. I don't know, let's play it. Here we go. And it's the intro tune. Anything? No, it's not stuck.
Wake up your mind. Fill up your day. Smart little bites that brighten your way. You're listening to Food for Thought Radio. Here at FFTradio.com. Cluck Moo Oink.
Good evening and welcome to my first balls up at the beginning of the show. Where I had my intro clashing with Food for Thought Radio, but we're all in line now. Welcome to everybody on Food for Thought Radio. We're live on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram. Also, we're live on, as I say, Food for Thought Radio, Holy Land Radio FM, and Soapbox Radio. And tonight's guest is Helen, all the way from Brazil. Isn't that amazing? So, good evening or good afternoon, Helen, and welcome to the show.
Hi.
Now,
Pleasure to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on. I really get excited to that tonight's show because the subject tonight is about entities or demonic possession. Now, before I found out about demonic possession, I thought it was a load of old claptrap and thought, oh, come on, yeah, people putting on acts and things like that. But when you've experienced it, it's pretty horrific. And it happened in my family. I can't, for legal reasons, go too deeply into it, but someone brought it in, demon. And what happened is, well, it's my sister, first of all, went down with it, and they developed a twin personality. And they flip from one personality to another personality instantly. Bang! And then, unfortunately, my mother caught it as well. And it's like a disease. It kind of infests people. So one moment you're speaking to the person you used to know, and the next moment you're speaking to somebody who's speaking very strange. And you know, she would say things, this is my sister, she'd say, I'm going to have meow. Sorry? Meow. Sorry. And what she meant, I'm going to have my meal. And things like this. And she'd start doing a kind of speaking in a precision way, which is very, very strange. And then she'd go from evil to the person you used to know, or she'd be crying, putting on false crying, and then stop instantly and be a completely different personality, and then back again to the other personality. But it was just instant. I mean, even an actress would have to calm down if they're acting a part, but it's instant, and it's really quite frightening. Now, I'm not religious, but I do believe in demons. And as I said, I thought it was a load of old phooey before I found out about it. But I just couldn't put my finger on it. And the only answer I had was to get away. And that is the only answer I found. And get away, stay away. And what you're subjected to then is emotional blackmail. And that is quite horrendous. But it's been 16 years. And no more. I've heard no more apart from earlier this year, when I got a letter from my brother-in-law who told me that my sister, there's something wrong with her mind. They haven't been able to find out what it is, but she's in a nursing home. So,
Yeah.
Need me say more? Now, over to you, Helen. Now, I believe that. How did you get into it? How did you find out about demonic possession? What was it? What was the first inkling? Was you like me when you thought, that'll flow it until you encountered it? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know whether I thought it was phooey, but I certainly didn't know much about it. And it happened for me. I was living in Las Vegas at the time, which is, anybody knows me where I live now in the countryside with my farm. I mean, they know that that's odd, but whatever reason, I won't tell you why, but I was living in Las Vegas with my then American husband. And we were listening to, what's that radio show? Coast to Coast, right?
Coast to Coast, yes. Yes.
Yeah, where they have all these wacky people coming on with. And I was fascinated. There was this guy called Dr. Charles Tremont, who's passed away now, sadly, but he was already pretty old then. But he was talking about entities and how he'd been a doctor. In fact, I think he was obstetrician or something like that. But he was a military, a surgeon anyway. And he remembers once, no, how did it go out? Oh, that's right. He was learning about hypnosis to give, to be able to operate on somebody that was allergic to anesthetics, which you can do. In fact, I was trained to do that. That was how I passed my exams in hypnotherapy later on.
Wow.
But what happened was he suddenly was talking to the lady in this hypnotic state, and all of a sudden he found he was talking to somebody else, rather like you found you were talking to someone else when you're talking to your mother or sister. And he thought, this is really strange, and he started to talk to this other being, and then he realized it was a different consciousness, definitely. So that's what got him into it. And then when he retired from the army and being a doctor, he became a hypnotherapist, and his speciality was deep, exorcism, if you like, and also past life regression. So, and he was talking about all these different things, and I thought something in me was fascinated. And I thought, I wasn't particularly well at the time physically, and he was saying how it could affect you physically because they suck the life out of you. And I thought, and I just knew I have to see this
Emotional
guy.
vampires.
Yeah, exactly. That's the story of the vampire. There are no vampires stealing your, coming in the night. Well, there are people that take your blood, but that's a whole other story.
That's it. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump it, but I mean, after seeing my sister and brother-in-law, it took me 3 days, and it took my father as well, my family, to get over it. You were physically and emotionally drained.
Oh yeah. Okay. No, I'll talk about that. Yeah, absolutely. I'll refer to that. Absolutely. So anyway, so I was listening to this guy, and I thought, I have to see this doctor. And I didn't have much money. I thought, I wonder where he is, because he's somewhere in the States, right? And I thought, I hope I've got enough money to fly there, stay there, go see him, whatever. And he goes, in my clinic in Las Vegas. I go, yes. Okay. Next morning, I'm on the phone. I go and see him, and had this fascinating thing. We did some past life stuff, because I was tortured to death by the Inquisition or something. Yeah, it was definitely the Inquisition, and which I knew about because I'd already done some past life stuff. And he made me kind of somehow forgive them. I said, what do you think I am, Christ? I can't forgive these people. But anyhow, but during that time, then it showed up. There was this entity, which was a kind of alien type entity. It was very military, didn't have a human face, but had a human structure, wearing a uniform, very sort of silver, very sort of modern, science fiction-y kind of thing. And he had a conversation with it, and basically said, what are you doing? He said, well, they're following me, they're checking on me, and tracking me or whatever. And he goes, well, you shouldn't do that, she has a right to be free and all this. He had a conversation with it, and he thought, I didn't believe it, but anyway, he thought that you could just tell this demonic alien entity to go away. Anyway, so then what happened was, so I didn't think much of it particularly, but then about a week later, Las Vegas is full of people that are demonically possessed, by the way, you can imagine. But anyway, we had some neighbors across the street, and she was a girl, she was a young woman. She came over with a friend of hers who was telling me all about these awful things that happened in her life. Her kids had been taken away, and her whole life was a total disaster. And both of them had been drinking. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, whatever, okay. And then finally they said they were going to go. I said, oh, good, fine, please go. And this woman called Sarah, she said, oh, you should smell Helen. She smells nice. Kind of weird, right, or whatever. I'm sitting on the couch. This woman leans over me and puts her head right up against my neck and, sniffs me and stuff. They're just the drunk ladies. Okay, so I thought, okay, whatever. They leave within about 1 minute. I had a massive asthma attack, which I'd had as a child, but I hadn't really had, especially in Las Vegas. It's as dry as a bone there. Don't get asthma there particularly. I had this big asthma attack. I just couldn't breathe. I didn't have any of my little puffer thingies because I hadn't had it for years. And so I thought, holy crap, what's going on with me? I was really kind of scared. I just calm myself down. And then the weirdest thing happened. I started to have this unbelievable gas, like death, right? It was like something went up my bum and died or something. It was like, oh my God, it was so embarrassing. I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry. And this went on for a couple of days, this awful stench and this weird thing. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And the asthma. So I said, I've got to call this guy. So I called this guy back. I said, I need to come and see you. Something's really weird's happening to me. And this is what got me into this, really, because I went back there. We found this big old bear. I go into a trance. I see this big old ugly bear with red eyes and shitty, dirty, stinky old thing, right? We get rid of that. We also get rid of of course, the military alien type creature who said, funny enough, I said, well, what was his name? He goes, we, i.e. the hive mind, we are called Mantrix. Mantrix. I thought, that's hilarious. Tricking man. Anyway, yeah. Mantrix. Yeah, but I looked it up, Mantrix with an X. I looked it up when I got home. And there, in fact, is a lesser demon that's known in the Hindu religion called Mantrix. I thought that was kind of fascinating. Anyway, that's all it took for me to be totally hooked into this. And it was kind of like people say they have their aha moment, in their life, and then they know what they're supposed to be doing, because I had no clue before that. I was doing all kinds of wacky things. I thought, that's it. That's why I'm here. I am here to get rid of these bloody entities. That's my job. So then I read all these books on exorcism, scared the crap out of myself. I mean, I'm the girl that used to be scared of the thing under the bed, So that's kind of like, oh my God, but I just knew this is what I had to do. So anyway, and there were very few books on the subject at that time. There was what was his name? Reverend Bowden, was it Bowen? Something like that. Baldwin, that's right. Reverend Baldwin. He had a book. It was the Handbook of Spirit Release. So I kind of read that, learned that, I wrote some stuff down on scripts and stuff, how to get, how to help people and so on, call up who and get rid of what and all this. And there was maybe a couple of other books at the time, very few books on the subject. It really wasn't known. This was, how long ago was this? This was like 15, 16 years ago. It wasn't really, mainstream at that point. And kind of with the Epstein files, I sort of brought it more mainstream, which is interesting. But anyway, so that was what got me into it. Then I just thought, well, okay, I need to, because he's doing hypnotherapy, I'll do it that way. I'm not psychic, whatever. I could do it with pendulums, I suppose, and all this. But I thought, no, I'll do that. So I quickly did a one-on-one course to become a master clinical hypnotherapist. And I told the guy what I was going to do with it. And he was like, really? His eyes were like, oh, that's interesting. So kind of wacky. But he said I was one of his best ever students, yeah. So I said that was quite good. So that was it. And then we moved to Florida, and then I immediately set up my practice doing that. And I'd learned EFT at the same time, around about. Could you
explain to the viewers what EFT is, please? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. It's an emotional freedom technique, otherwise known as tapping. It's where you tap on. It's where you tap on.
I've seen this. Yes.
Different parts of the meridians and so on, because it releases stuck emotional trauma that's in the body. So then I combined that, ultimately that idea with the tapping, because in the end I was getting a problem with my wrists. I was just tapping people all day long and doing the spirit release work sort of separately in trance. And then one day I was somewhere and somebody was talking about how they were sending negative emotions to their pineal gland. I thought, well, that's weird. Pineal gland, what's that? That's the sort of transmitter and receiver to the divine, right? So so I thought, well, that's the light, right? So I thought, well, there's me sending these entities to the light, which is as I've been taught in that book, and I'm doing the tapping, just tedious stuff. And then I sort of put the two together. So I created something called emotional alchemy, which is something now that I'm kind of known for. So that's what I do with my clients. So I'm combining emotional alchemy, getting rid of the traumas that, if you like, are often the woundings that allow these entities in, right? Because entities, feed off negative emotions.
That's right.
And then I get rid of the entities
and nice
at the
people.
Same time.
And kind, nice people they go for.
Oh, yeah.
if you're a
can, yeah.
sensitive person, they're in.
Hmm. Well, yes, I mean, it can happen to a lot of people. I mean, how it can come in is through trauma, which is why all these elites
Right.
traumatize their children and torture their own children, never mind anybody else's, so that
That's right.
and so that entities can inhabit those bodies. What was I saying? Yeah, so it can come in through trauma. It can come in ancestrally. So it comes in through the family, and you kind of inherit it sort of in the womb, as it were. It can come in through being in a hospital. I was wondering if your mother had been in hospital or your sister
Yes.
before this happened.
Yes. And
Yeah,
it all adds up. And also that they seem to be around places of stress like council buildings, police, prisons. I've never been into a prison.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
things
prisons
like
are full. Prisons are full. Mental institutions, of course, full of them.
Well, sorry, I don't mean to chime in, but Mark
Yes, Jerry
Anthony,
Moses,
hello,
yeah.
mate. Yes, he's been on the show. And Jerry,
Yeah, Jerry,
Moses,
he did good
who
work.
worked as a prison psychiatrist, had first-hand
right.
experience of demonic possession when treating schizophrenics. And I'm trying to get him on again. I want him on again.
Yes, too. Well, because
And,
exactly that, because that's what a schizophrenic is. That's what a
And,
schizophrenic is.
YouTube banned it
somebody.
afterwards. They took it down, took the show down. Seriously. After
Really?
it came on. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want people to know it's real. All this
now-
psychiatry bullshit, it's such bullshit.
I agree with you.
All these addiction centers, you know what they have like a 97% fail rate. It's pathetic.
They do. And what he says
If I
is-
have
is
someone who's
spot
an
on.
addict, I've probably got an 85%, 90% success rate. I mean, they are, because they don't understand that there's entities involved. If you don't understand that, there's nothing you can do for these people.
I agree.
It's-
Well,
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't
it's
mean to
not
cut
solved
across
with
you there.
pills, is it?
Now, everybody, if you've got a question for Helen, please put it in capitals. It helps me to see it, identify it in chat. Because as I'm talking to Helen here, I'm sort of backwards and forwards looking at chat, and very, very kindly, Matilda has actually done that. So thank you, Matilda. It's very kind. And she said, question: I believe I saw an angel. Does Helen know anything about these entities? That's a good question.
Yes, funnily enough, my view on them has changed relatively recently. Okay, there's a guy called Alabar Jones. He has a group called the Earth Guard. You want to check him out. He's on YouTube. In fact, he would be interesting for you to have on. Really fascinating guy. He's got together a whole bunch of people that are good at astral travel, and he trains them. And he takes in, and they go on trips together into the astral together, and they go killing demons basically, which is really cool. And so, but he had a conversation with Archangel Michael, which is really one that was fascinating to me, because I use Archangel Michael sometimes to help, because it does sometimes, I can call upon Archangel Michael, I can feel it, it's intense energy comes in, so I know it's for real, and it does help me to get rid of the really nasty ones where I just need to make sure, I can do it myself, but I just sometimes think, okay. But I was always like iffy, like L's, the L's, they're all the Elohim, they're all the fallen angels, it's all the same, they're all the same family, but it seems to work. So I was always iffy about that. But then what he said when he had this conversation with Archangel Michael, that apparently there's the demons, it's as above, so below. There's the demons and then the angels, and the angels are there to stop the demons from getting totally out of control and destroying everything, which is what they would, of course, because they're all about death and suffering. They would create a sort of black hole, if you like. They would just destroy it and eat everything, and there'd be nothing left. So they're there to create a bit of balance, to make sure the system continues on. They are not there to prevent the demonic realm from creating these resets and creating these different scenarios for them to suck the life out of us in. But they will help us individually. So if it doesn't interfere with the plan. So I was like, oh my bloody God. So, because I never felt quite right. Well, what are if there's all these angels, what the hell is going on this planet? They're either useless, there's not many of them, or they're not very powerful. There's something up with it, because now you can see the demonic stuff is like rampant. It's everywhere. There's no balance at the moment. They're far from it, I would say.
In architecture as well, there's all demonic structures. This is what I
Oh my
found.
God. Yeah, it's all cubes. I mean, all this kind of cubes
Mm.
and lines and
Yeah,
absolutely. So anyway, but I would definitely. There's a whole bunch of stuff I could tell you about Alabar, but get him on, or people go on YouTube.
please.
It's fascinating.
Yes.
So what you
Please.
have is a bit like now. Would you like to have the red party or the blue party, i.e., the evil one or the slightly less than evil one? So it's the same up there. They're okay that yes, they will help you as individuals, and if you're just about to die and it's not your time, you may have one that comes and grabs you out of the way of the bus. All very nice, thank you very much. But the angelic realm are also trapped, apparently, is what is being said, that they're also trapped and have to do as they're told, because they're also caught in the prison like we are up in the astral, and here is the same matrix, and they have to do as they're told, because there's a whole bunch of their other members of their group that are held hostage or something. So it's kind of interesting. But anyway, it all makes sense to me. So yes, I think angels definitely exist. They definitely can help us as individually, and they do, but they won't stop the overall plan of the demonic forces.
And I've actually met myself, but I'll go into that a little later. And now, Matilda said, I think it was an archangel.
Archangel Metatron. Well,
Metatron.
you got to listen to Alibi Jones. He basically, again, I think he was either talking to Archangel Michael or somebody, or even to I forget who was talking to now. But anyway, he basically says that there's three demons three entities. Let's call them that, because not necessarily demons. They're three entities that run this realm, and it was Metatron, Satan, and Yahweh, and then Archangel Michael and various other archangels also report to Metatron. Anyway, you got to listen to him. It's so fascinating. It's so wacky. But I know a lot of people are into Metatron. A lot of New Age people are calling up Metatron. That's a whole other stuff. The whole New Age stuff is, quite frankly, a load of bollocks. Sorry, New Age people.
Hang on, let's get my
really,
dream. Get my dream catcher out.
Yeah, yes, okay.
Go to Glastonbury, man. It's all sort of, and I could go on about what was it? Spiritual Awakening, which was invented by the Secret Service after World War II to prevent a revolution in this country. Yes, and
really?
yes, and it was so successful that the CIA devised the hippie movement. So there we go in the 60s. But now, Enviro, by the way, he's our transport minister. Don't mention anything about buses, whatever you do. No, it's actually Anorak. Hello, Anorak. Hello, mate. It's Paul. I do wonder if vapes are used to bring in demons into people, and whether people who work in hospitals are demonic, as many seem to lack empathy. And
I don't know about vapes, but the older, the old injecticides. Someone said injecticides the other day. I thought it was such a good idea.
It's a good
Injecticides.
Injecticides.
Yes. The injecticides definitely did. The injecticides did something to the DNA, which actually blocked most people from actually having this contact with anything outside of this realm at all. So we're kind of in a bubble, right? The whole sort of astral, and this is all in a big bubble, and the earth, the astral thing. But outside of that, the real universe exists. And if somebody's interested in this subject, you should look up Wes Penray if you don't know him already. It's that's it. Wes Penray Papers, and he talks a lot about this kind of stuff. But yeah, I think there's certain things. So I think the injecticide cut people off from God and connected them to AI through all the nanobots and all that crap. And I'm sure there's a shit ton of other products that do the same thing in various pharmaceuticals. And what's in a vape? Who knows? Who knows what's in there? All I can tell you is I've had two people, because I get people to quit smoking, quit vaping, quit doing all these bad things, but I've had 2 times with people that vaped a lot, where they were vaping all the time. I couldn't get them to quit. I just couldn't. They were literally, it was, I'm good at it. I'm good at doing this, but I couldn't. There was something, it's like they had gone. It's like they had been literally replaced with like a cyborg or something. It was really bizarre, and they were kind of
That is
upset the people
interesting.
because they're like, but it was wacky.
Now,
Yes, I reckon to check out Wes Penray is the
yes,
guy. Wes Penray Papers, and
so it's West
no,
Penray. Is that
no,
Penray?
Wes WES
WES.
WES Penray Papers.com, and the other guy is Alabar Jones, and somebody put it up there earlier. It's the Earth God.
Earth God.
But
And
fascinating stuff both of those people are producing.
fantastic. Now,
Yeah.
there's a poll on my Telegram channel tonight. So if anybody would like to go onto my Telegram channel, and I'll just check this out, see how we're going. And the poll said, it's an anonymous poll, and I actually put up a book. Was it Demons and Politicians? Sam Gastein, or Gastein, and that's the what I put. And I put down: is the war with Iran Agenda 2030? Are they all in on it? And 20% said yes. Do demons exist? 20% said yes. Do demons run governments? 0%. Do extraterrestrial entities from space run governments? 0. Do psychopaths run governments? 40% said yes. Have you ever encountered demonic possession? 20% said yes. And then, are demons mind controlling government ministers? 0%. Is CIA 1960s mind control running governments? 0%. And so far, that is 5 votes. So come on, we can do better than 5 votes.
Yeah, I think so.
And it came out just before the show. So there we are. So it's on the Telegram channel. Now, Alice Gorgeous has got, thank you again for putting it in capitals. It does help me because it catches my eye if it's in capitals. I will sound bonkers. Don't worry.
No, you don't sound bonkers at all.
But during my entity removal hypnosis, I said the schools, police, hospitals, etc. use Witiko.
Witiko, black magic. Yeah. Well, yes, they do, of course. You know, the heads of police are all Freemasons, and oh shoot! Oh my god!
Hang on, we got an earthquake. Here we go. And did you know the black and white strip that the police have on their helmets and caps and things?
Yeah.
As a chappie that's gone into that on the internet, Smith, what's his name there? I can't remember his name. And it was devised in the 1930s and 40s by a police officer, senior bloke, who was a Freemason.
Well, of course, yeah. It's the floor of the temple thing, whatever they call it.
But what is Witiko? So
it's black magic. It's a type of black magic.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yes, they do. Magic. I mean, and that's and it's the tops. I mean, hospitals themselves are just chock-a-block with demons. Mental hospitals are chock-a-block. I mean, there is something interesting about it's all the top people. I mean, all the top people in the world, or that control all of these things, the police, everything, the whole world, all these politicians and everything. That's the whole point. Yeah. They're all demonically possessed, and they've sold them. Many of them, some of them, as I say, were born into it. They didn't really get much choice. They were tortured as children, and they were just told this is the way it is, and tough shit, basically. But a lot of them sell their souls knowingly, and they get what they get on this earth. They get all the girls and the money and the whatever, and the power and the what have you. But it seems like a hefty price to me in eternity to sell one soul to these grim creatures.
One famous, sorry, I didn't mean to talk across you, but one famous person has admitted it. Someone that plays the guitar.
Oh, yeah. Many do.
Harmonica, who had signboards that put out, and sang like this, and they were all in a protest, and he actually admitted it. He's done a deal with the who. But one thing that I found is once you're amongst these entities, it takes a long time to get shot of them. Took me around 12 years. Because what happens, they put things onto you that makes you attract negativity. Yeah. And I think that's because I met the most weirdest bloody people you could ever wish to think of during that time, and for about 12 years afterwards, until I completely got shot of it.
Yeah, there's a difference. There's possession, which sounds like your mother,
Sister.
if she, if she's and sister, if they're going from one thing to another, it's in them, literally, they're possessed. And then there's
Thanks,
attachment.
Mark. Sorry, it's Swilliam.
And
That's it. I was talking about. Yeah.
okay, yeah, and so then there's attachment, and so an attachment is not actually in you, as it were, but
Right.
it's on in your field. And of course it does it, and they can mess with things, and they attract other people because they're like a network. The demonic realm is one big pyramid network up to the big guys at the top, right? And so all sending the energy up like like a, what do you call it, multi-level marketing thing. All energy goes up to the top. Shit, what was I saying? What were you talking about? I lost my train of thought.
Oh
What
yes.
was it?
What it was? It's all right. I was just what it was. S. William. Yes, he's very good to watch on. He's talking about police. That was all about a month ago, and I was talking about where you cannot be possessed, but you attract
That's right.
negativity.
No, exactly.
So that's
They,
back. Yes.
That's right. They come in your field and they attract. That what they can do is, because they're all connected like a computer network between each other, they can get other demon possessed or controlled people to come and mess with you.
That's right. That's
And so
exactly what happened with me.
and they can make all kinds of weird circles. And you think, am I going mad? What the hell is going on? Why do I keep meeting these crazy people, Dilly?
Correct.
Because yes, and that's the thing. And the entities that you can have around you can be either something that was literally created. I don't get the name of it right now. There's a name for it. Maybe I'll think of it. But anyway, black magicians can create. It's like a golem or something like that. You can create an entity and send it to somebody to mess with them. So it's has a bit two-dimensional. Just has one purpose, to make your life hell, or to make you scared, or to make you sad, or whatever it is. You can actually create the people. People do create black magicians do create these things. Otherwise, you can have a myriad of any other kind of entity, which goes from blobs, things like blobs at the bottom, which just particularly you'll find them in things like shame and guilt, and they're just there, just stimulating those feelings in people, so they can suck that energy off of them. And a lot of people have entities of this kind. I would say a lot. I'd say most people that come to me, obviously they've got an issue to start with. Not unbeknownst to them, it might be an entity. They come to me because they're sad, or they're got anger issues, or they're addicted, or whatever. They don't necessarily. They do come to me for spirit release, but mostly, most people don't even know about it. So then you can have these other entities that attach, and you can find all kinds of things, like all kinds of sea creature-y type things. You can find all the classic things that you'd hear about in storybooks, the witches and the leprechauns. I don't like leprechauns. They kind of laugh if you fall on a banana skin and break your head open. I think that's hilarious. I don't like that kind of leprechaun humor, so I get rid of them as well. But all kinds of trolls and weird things, and then you've got all the kind of these dragons and animals and creatures, and then you've got all the demonic ones that look like scary demons with red eyes, and then you've got the ones that are all black, with no face and just black eyes, or white burning eyes and black gowns, and there's a whole myriad. And then the reptilians, of course, come across those, and the insectoids, which connect at the back of the head. They're disgusting. They put their proboscis right on the central nervous system. That's so gross.
But they're just
Anyway,
out of our way of frequency range, because we cannot see
Yes.
these. This is why a dog often sits and goes and looks across the room.
Yeah, goes.
Thinking that we
goes,
can't.
"Arr." Yeah.
That's right. And the thing is that what I've found that does tend to send them, and this is I bless things, and it sounds a bit conceited, but if you're going to eat something, I bless the food that I'm eating. I'm not religious, but I bless the food that I'm eating. And when I meet somebody, it's kind of, I don't do this, but in my mind now, and I've only done this in recent years, last 3 or 4 years, I kind of say, I bless this person, and that sort of, and there are some people you come in contact with, and I jump back. I can actually feel that evil in them.
Oh yeah. No,
But
it's because you felt it. Because you felt it with your family,
mm,
and now you recognize, because it's the same energy, and you recognize it everywhere. And
that's
that's
right.
why it's so important for people to understand that this exists, that they're not making it up, because the body knows. It's like you just go, ooh, that's creepy as hell. Yeah, I don't like that. But then, they smile and they go, hey, how are you? And you go, well, maybe it's just me. Maybe
Mm,
they're fine. No, no, the
I
our
know.
instinct is always correct, but we
You're
have to know
spot
it
on.
exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if we don't know it exists, we'll just brush it
Well,
off as just a weird thing and move on, which is,
it's this over
yeah.
squeaky cleanness that gets me in society now. And we talk about Freemasons. We do a lot for charity. Hello, I'm over the top friendly and nice. Isn't that nice?
Mhm.
When somebody comes along that's over the top friendly and nice, you think the old warning signs go boop, 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 and the old radar on me head's going, watch out. And there's something they're hiding, we're doing it for charity, isn't that nice? Would you like to give some money for charity because we're such nice people?
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
are you
Oh no,
doing
don't
weird
worry.
things behind the scenes?
Yeah, all the biggest philanthropists are in this
Oh,
world
yes.
are the truly evil ones. I wasn't going to say it, but this guy's just said it. You be careful with be less you. You might want to think of something else to say. He's right. What you're saying is what the priest does. He cuts your aura in four, right down the middle
Yes.
in your heart chakra, and then says, "Be less you."
That's interesting. Be less
Yeah,
you.
English language is as sneaky as hell. You've got to be careful what you say.
You
But yeah,
certainly have. Now, Embryo, our transport minister, by the way, um,
yes.
is that why our because you've heard about Fockham Hall, haven't you? This is.
Yes, yes, yes.
Would you like to be our Brazilian minister for
Oh, if you
cold
like.
chain? Yeah, I know.
Your envoy for Brazil.
For kicking the crap out of demons.
Yeah,
How about
that's
that one?
it. Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
Embryo
yeah.
says, is that why our belongings are called possessions? Yes, I'm very careful. If
Yeah.
you pick something up in the supermarket, you pick something and go, put it back, and you pick something else up. Perhaps I'm just hypersensitive. I'm very strange like that. I get
Well, you might be
feelings.
sensitive, but they can be possessed. That's why it's important not to be too attached
Hmm.
to anything that we have. We're not going to leave here with it after all. But yes, the possessions do possess people.
Hmm. But
Because
then
they get.
you bless them. I mean, my neighbour gave me a bike, so I blessed the bike when I got it. I blessed it. So if there's anything negative, it's
Well, you
gone.
have to think of another word for you to do that.
Yes.
You have to give I don't know, some loving energy to the bike or whatever. But yes,
Yes. Is that the right
yeah, it's
saying
important.
blessing it? Because I mean, I'm not, as I say, not from a religious point of view, but I just sort of like to think, well,
No,
I
it's
think the
just
good
this
things
word,
for it.
be less you. It's just the English
Yeah.
language. If you use another language, look it up in another language and say it in Italian.
Okay.
I'm sure it won't mean be less you if you do it in a different language.
Um.
Um,
Now,
that's
where
the
are
only
we?
thing with it. It's just English language is so tricky. It's tricky.
Right. Now, Alice Gorgeous says, I had a black box removed, but they're put there by Freemasons. Oh, don't start me on
Do
about
you
Freemasons.
do you
But
mean do you mean a sort of etheric implant, something on the etheric realm? Is that what you
hmm,
mean? Right, you don't mean an actual black box that they came and took away from your house, do you?
hmm. Now, she
Unless
went on to
you could
say,
answer that.
I had a dream about a demon sucking the back of my neck during 2020.
Yeah, but probably it was. That's exactly. When I was young, I had a lot of that. This thing would come in through the window straight onto me, and just that's what night terrors, and it lands on you, and just you wake up with that incredible fear, and I used to use all my energy to go, no, this.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're there.
Like
What they
that.
do, they come. They're not taking the blood, obviously, but in that moment, they create this absolute panic, adrenochrome in the physical, this terror
Hmm.
energy in the energetic realm, and that's what they suck out, and then they're gone, and they're like thieves in the night. They've just come and they've taken your
I know what you
energy.
mean.
Yeah, disgusting.
I
They're like, well,
mean,
they're all parasitic. This is the thing. All the demonic realm is parasitic. And the good news for people, so because it can sound a bit scary, all this, but you know what the good news is? They've got away with it for so long, that they have no defense. They're all offense. They're all tricking you, sneaking, doing all made plans to fool you and, get you into porn so they can come through the porn sites, or get you into watching horribly violent movies so they can come in that way, or get you to do some weird sexual bullshit that, whatever. You cut your bits off and change yourself into Baphomet or something.
Swinging from the chandelier with a tomcat,
Well,
anything like that.
If people want to do that, I mean, it's something a bit more dodgy than that.
Yes.
But,
it can. But
anyway,
see, the thing that gets me. I mean, by the way, Embryo says, "Doesn't bless you mean bless you?" Be less you.
That's why I said it, because he'd said that, or she said. That's why I'm telling you. You have to think of a new way of saying. A new way of
blessings and things,
Yes, but not be blessings. But not less. Be more. What I say to people around here when someone sneezes, I've got all my friends to do it. We say, "Be more you."
That's a good point. That's a very, very good point. But the thing that I've found is that with a demonic possession, good is bad and bad is good. It's completely upside down. And I know my in-law, if he saw, say, the Olympics and someone, say, it's ice skating, someone's taken off on a stretcher, it'd be off his seat with laughter. Especially they see the ambulance. Oh, hey,
and that. Yeah, sick in the head.
It's a sort of, but what it is, they're very, very, what I found is it was a microcosm of how governments run. Because what they do, they set up suspicion, constant tension, constant worry, all the time. That's what they do. And they do it in a way which is very cunning. Now, my father he never drunk, he was teetotal, never smoked. He was the nearest to an angel you could ever wish to meet. And fantastic father. Best I could ever wish. I'm very, very lucky to have my dad as a father like that. And what the first thing my brother-in-law did when he came in, he would use my sister as a mouthpiece, so that all this negativity would come from my sister. And then if you tackled him, you couldn't tackle him head on because you'd be going behind my sister's back. So you actually bite it up. And sometimes it was so biting, you had to tackle him head on. And you'd then sit there and say, look you straight in the face, I don't know what you're talking about. And speak very correct and precise. And then it had always been mental illness. You need to see a psychiatrist. It's not, it's not quite right. It's sort of this type of thing. For example, by my sister, it was, my brother had seen my father coming out of a pub after a drink. And then my dad used to put a little bit of money on the horses. He's gambling all the money away. Negative, all the time.
Making things bad.
And I mean, I've said this many times before. I'm writing a book called Oh Surely Not, and the reason for the title called Oh Surely Not, because if you mentioned it to someone, they go, "Oh, surely not," because these people have got two personalities. They are to my rest of my family, they were the perfect couple, absolutely devoted, until they was working on myself, my mother and father, and then it was emotional hell. That's the only way you could describe it. Emotional hell.
Yeah, that's what people that find themselves in relationships with narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. It's a person who has a demonic entity running the show, and what you see on the outside is so if it could be a woman, but say it's like the guy is the psychopath. On the outside he's handsome, he's charming beyond anything, right? Super sexy. Everyone thinks he's great. He's humorous. He's funny. Everyone loves him. He gets home and then he's psychologically, physically, any which way, torturing the wife. And if she goes to then says to somebody, you've no idea what he does, because he'll say, "Oh, she's nuts. My wife, she's completely nuts. She makes up all this shit." And people believe the psychopath, of course, because they've never seen it. Because as soon as the door closes, then he becomes, his eyes will go, and this is, you'll see it. If anyone's experienced this or listening to this, you'll know what I'm talking about. The person that you're in love with, I've been with them, which is how I know. And also, I'd say at least one client a week that I have, if not two, are there because they've been screwed up. It's one of these people. But their faces go white like this and sort of drawn, and their eyes go black, like they go black. And there's this, they emanate like complete hate. And any love that you thought that was there, and it freaks you out, and you go, and you get scared, and you go, what's wrong? And then they say, well, it's your fault. It's always your fault.
That's it. So absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on.
It's your fault. And then they gaslight you and mess with your head.
That's it. You're and the only way it's easier said than done. Get away. A complete
you have to
break.
Get away. Yeah.
And they'll put you under emotional blackmail, but you get away. And now,
very hard when you have a child, unfortunately. But yeah.
Well, the thing is that I kept them meeting boozers, because you know there's a difference between a boozer and an alcoholic. An alcoholic, you know that they're drinking because they're, but a boozer, they're sober, as sober can be. And they're the dangerous ones, very dangerous. Keep away from them, because they attract all the negativity you could wish to think of, because they'll sit there and they'll knock down spirits, pints, never drunk, sober as anything. And the boozers are the most dangerous people ever. You can get away from them. But the thing is that now Blu-ray's come out with a good one. My grandfather was in the London police, but he was good. Yes, I agree. And Ben Emlyn Jones was a stretcher hospital porter, one of the nicest men you could wish to meet. Now, when they're that nice and that good, sometimes the demons can't attack them. There are a few good ones, so you know.
That's true. Yeah, no, of course there are. No, there are, and I think that's the point of doing this kind of work. This is why everyone should. This is the time when we have to clean up our old trauma, whether it's from this lifetime or any other. Doesn't matter. We have to, because if we're squeaky clean, I mean, as squeaky clean as we can be. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
We don't resonate in their realm, so they resonate with anger and guilt and sadness and depression and shame and all of this kind of stuff, right? Fear. That's where they resonate. So if they can get us to resonate with that, we're fair game. If we don't, and if we raise ourselves up, and then we're at least in a state of courage, if not, something a bit higher, like acceptance and love and joy and peace and all that. If we can be there, we don't collide. You know what I mean? We're outside of their range. And they may try, and they may try and sort of mess with you, but it's easy to get rid of them at that point. It's like, get away from me, But that's why.
You're right.
Once we're clean, that's why it's so important. And you know what? With every time I deal with an addict of any kind, for anything, there is always entity or entities involved. Always. Guarantee it.
Spot on. Well, Nathan Lucius has said demons specifically target the good, perfect prey. And I mean, this book, people friends have said, look, don't write it. I mean, I wrote it 16 years ago, and I was in a different frame of mind then, because I was absolutely at my lowest. I'm rewriting it now, but it's taken a long time because it gets to me, and this is why I'm writing two books at once. I'm writing Oh Surely Not, and the reason I'm writing it is I want to help other people. Because you feel very alone when you're in that situation, because nobody will believe you. They say, oh, come on, especially family. Oh, no, surely not. That's why I call it Oh, Surely Not. But then I'm not out to cause trouble. And I say in the beginning of the book, it is the entity that I'm talking about, not the actual people. It's the entity. Not the people. They've just been infected. It's a bit like, someone that's got a cold. Now, I don't necessarily believe in germ theory, but they've been infected. So you're saying it's the cold is the bastard, not the person. So that's what I'm getting at with this book. And the other book I'm writing is about a dictionary of bullshit. So that when a politician, you see them, you can get the book out. And say, oh yes, page 23. Because there's no such thing as a reference guide to bullshit, is there? So that's why I'm writing. That's why I'm writing.
Politicians' lies.
It's the Fockham guide to bullshit. You see, so people can look it up. But so I cheer myself up by doing that. So I'm backwards and forwards and things like that. But writing a book I'm rewriting the book, and it is quite.
I'm going to say your book your book on political lies is going to be massive, given the recent lies we've been hearing.
Oh,
Holy
no, no, it's
crap! There's a
about,
new there's a
yeah,
new
but
one every day, or new 10 new ones every day. It's like,
no, but what I'm saying is bullshit is free theatre. That's what we've got to look at it as. And
yeah,
it's an art form, so we look at it like an art critic. So when someone's bullshit, you go, "Oh, yes," and give a little bit of advice, So, yes, and I sort of enjoy it because what is it? It's artificial truth and expiry date. So that's all. That's all bullshit. It's artificial truth,
yeah,
But I could
yeah.
say I've got a Ferrari. I haven't got a Ferrari. I've just got a push bike that identifies as a Ferrari. But still, I could say I've got a Ferrari.
That's it. You wrote Ferrari in pen on the side of your bike.
Or my smart car could be a Ferrari. Now, Blue Racers, David Hawkins, brilliant book. I've never heard David Hawkins.
David Hawkins. David Hawkins. You're not that other maniac. Yeah, David Hawkins. Talking about the emotional stuff. Is that David Hawkins? Who's the other Hawkins? That other crazy dude that says there's no God and there's no nothing and we're all just here. Just what's his name?
Hang on.
His name was Hawkins as well, wasn't it? But yes, no. But David Hawkins. He wrote what's it called? I forget now. But yes, he gave the list of all the emotions in a hierarchy with a kind of a value attached to them. It's quite interesting. I do use that actually quite a lot.
Yes, it's quite interesting. And
Power versus force. That's it. Power versus force. That's it.
But now was it Proverbs 18? Great wisdom and advice. You see, I noticed also they go for children. Demons, they're very clever. Going for demons,
Yeah.
They're going for children. And people, when they're at their lowest,
Yeah,
they will get in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Richard Dawkins. Richard Dawkins, that's the one.
Oh, Richard Dawkins, yeah, that's that other maniac.
He's the atheist.
I tried to read his book like years ago. I was so mad. I read half of it. I threw it chucked it in the trash, which I would never throw books normally in the trash. I was like, oh, for Christ's sake, you can.
Or you could put a hole through the corner
moron.
of it and hang it in the smallest room. That's where it'd be very useful.
I
Toilet paper.
prefer soft toilet paper myself.
I see. Richard Dawkins, yes.
Remember at school they used to give. Do you remember at school they used to give us that toilet
Bronco.
paper that was sort of like shiny? What was that? That sort of varnish.
That's Bronco.
I never
That's
understood
called Bronco
that.
toilet paper. Yeah.
What
And
was that shit? I mean, it's just weird. I mean, how could I never understood it. As a kid, you put it out, there'd be one little sheet, and it'd be like this shiny piece of paper. You go,
That's
what?
it. Well,
Really?
I got a story about that, which I've said loads of times before. It's a bit crude, but it's a true story. You see, there was some reason you may have. I don't know. There was some strike or something where there's a shortage of toilet paper. I don't know quite why. Years ago, and I was at school, you see, and they had this thing about going to the lavatory during class time. I don't know whether you had that. You was not allowed to go to the lavatory. Unless you got the 2 bob bits or the Welsh is very bad, you see. Sorry, the Welsh is diarrhea. Anyway,
Diarrhea. Okay.
diarrhea. And I was sitting there, and teacher said that. The teacher said, number 1 or number 2? Oh, bloody hell. No, well, I must have got it right because I've got a sheet of toilet paper. Why you would have 1 sheet of toilet paper, I'll never know, you see. So I was walking down the corridor, this 1 sheet of toilet paper, and there was a teacher coming the opposite way, and he'd missed his calling in life. He would have been genius as a senior torturer in a South American prison. He would have been brilliant at it. I mean, he missed it, or he could have been in the Gestapo during the war. He would have been that would have been the job. He'd have been made for it. Where are you going, boy? Can't go to the toilet. So he said, number 1 or number 2? It's bleeding obvious. I got the toilet paper around. And I must have got it wrong. I said, number 1. Well, you won't be needing that, boy, will you?
Jeepers.
So he put it back in my hand, you see. He said, I will give you, I can't remember what the time was, 2 minutes, and if you're not out by then, there'll be big trouble. So anyway, I went in one of the traps, you see, and of course, because I was so nervous, I couldn't go. So, like a soppy sod, I flushed 1 sheet of toilet paper down the loo and came out, and the bastard had gone. So I went back to class, and of course, I relaxed a bit, and I needed to get. And I was desperate. And of course, once you've been once, you can't go twice. I mean, a girl actually, because in this mixed school, she peed herself once because I don't know whether she's.
I don't know, but
You know,
well, this is the
horrendous.
thing. This is the
Yeah,
thing. This is when
She
you
had to sit
get.
there all through the classroom wet because she
Oh
peed
yeah,
herself.
nice. But this is
Yeah.
but this is how you see that when you get teachers like that or doctors that murder you or things like that, then you know that they're demonically possessed. But on the question, just to say, because it came into my head, this thing about toilet paper, before they do any stupid shit like the COVID bullshit or some other bullshit,
Yeah,
they always
yeah.
say, there's a shortage of toilet paper. What they're saying is, get ready to shit yourself. Because
precisely.
what we're about to do to you, you're going to need to get. It's so,
Well,
it's
get
so
up by
absurd.
shares in
Why
toilet
would they-
paper. But that's not the end of the story, you see, because when the bell went, I mean, I would beat a whip it down to the toilet, and I went into the toilet, you see. But the big trouble was, once I'd been, there's no toilet paper.
That's right. Ew.
Oh dear, what do? Necessity is the mother of invention. We had these, you won't, this is true, logbooks. They had a logbook. And do you remember the old, it was like a kind of cotton paper, wasn't it? Really thick.
Mhm.
And it had blank pages in it. So I bought
Yeah.
all the blank pages. I might be bum with. Of course, it was so, but oh, what a relief. And I had sort of years of grounding sort of grime from children's wiping the backside with it. Of course, I flushed the toilet.
It didn't go down, did
Toilet
it?
Well, later on, I went into the loo and there's water all over the floor. And there's a janitor saying, "These bloody kids, some little sod, has any gone and flushed their toilet? So got one of their exercise books down the loo. When we were young, we'd have been grateful of that. What is the next generation coming?"
Oh God, very sad. Oh yeah. No, well, that's it. We got. It's crazy, isn't it? Just
Yeah.
weird.
But,
Weird
sorry,
people around.
there was always a toilet bit in the show, but yes, that's right, Matilda. We used to use it as tracing paper. That's right, and my father during the war, you only got issued 3 sheets of toilet paper, so they called it one up, one down, one polish.
Oh, really?
That's what it's called. That's what they called it. And
Well, I tell you what, the people in the Middle East have got it much better. They just have a spigot, or like French or whatever. You have a spigot by the next to your toilet, and you
Cradle
wash your bottom.
hose.
Yeah, you wash
That's
your
right.
bottom. I always do. I think it's just
Well,
rubbing toilet paper all it. It's not good, is it? You want to give it a nice little wash, and then you off you go.
well, yours truly helped to do some of the design on Riyadh University, which has probably been flattened by now. I never went there. I did it in this country. Designed it in this country, and they had what is called perennial hoses. And we used to sing the Hollies tune. All I need is the air that I breathe. And we used to sing while I was designing it. All I need is a perennial hose. Just to love it.
Oh, it's,
I mean,
yes,
used
it's
to
very
be that
handy
song,
indeed.
But no, that was in Riyadh University there. So there we go. Because they didn't have toilet paper there. So and tabloid paper. Yes, tabloid paper. That how comes we've gone on from demonic entities to
I
toilet
don't
paper? Isn't
know.
that amazing?
Because all demonic
And,
entities are shitty.
That's right. Evening, Paul. It's Paul Cullen.
Evening.
And
Good evening to you both.
Hello.
well, come on. This is our Transport Minister, Fockham Transport Minister, and welcome. This is Helen. Was it Entity Minister?
Yes.
Good
Minister
evening,
of
Entity
Entities.
Minister.
Minister of Entities. And anyway, I can't read this one out. That's disgusting. What's she say? Oh no, hang on, I can't put that one up. Here we go. But
Yes, exactly.
yes,
We will get them to smear poop up their own backs here.
yes.
Anyway, well, yes, we
Anyway,
can move
what I was
on from
going
the
to say,
poopy
let's
story. I
move
guess.
on from toilet paper.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, with these entities, I do believe that Tony Blair is demonically possessed because apparently
God,
he used to
you
be
just
quite a
look
nice
at him.
bloke. He sort of.
Well, I don't know. He was cottaging. He was caught cottaging, sticking his
Really?
pee-pee in a little hole in some public toilet in London. Who
That's
does
right.
that? Who does that? That's not possessed.
Longacre. And it
You know,
should have a
just
blue sign there so that Japanese tourists can go along and they could have an actor as Tony Blair with his trousers down. People could pose next to him. Oh, look, this is where Tony Blair was. Yeah, I mean, it'd be a marvellous tourist attraction. Some enterprising person should
yes,
take
could
her
do
up.
that. Yeah, they couldn't do.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
all these people, it's like when you hear them talk. There was something I saw this morning. You probably know who it is. It's some English woman who was some creature that was interviewing Tucker Carlson. I think it was. I picked it up today. Her energy was just ugh. And these certain people, I can't even listen to them anymore.
With the
because
first
it's just-
name of Katie.
I don't know. There wasn't a name. It was just, yes, she's hideous. She's just this disgusting creature was interviewing him. But anyway, there's certain people I just cannot even listen to them. It's just the energy is so disgusting. They just I mean, like Hillary Clinton. You know, her energy is just it's just so horrible. All these people.
Clinton.
Bill Gates,
Slimy.
Bill Gates and all that. Oh my God, their energy is so gross.
Yes.
But
And,
yeah, you can feel it. They're definitely they're not human. It's just disgusting.
oh,
Well, I do
Blue
wonder
Note.
whether we get talked through numbers as well, because Steve was on the other week, and I understand a bit about numerology, and quite often I'll see the same sets of numbers in locations, and certain numbers keep coming up, which I believe link to that world as well, not the demonic
Yes.
world.
Oh,
but
yeah. They use that
good world.
exactly. That's their
33.
world.
I think that's the usual
Yeah.
one, isn't it? 33. It's the usual one.
Oops.
But the thing is that, I mean, I worked in Longacre once, and that is where the Masonic head office is. And if you go along, they've got Masonic shops, and that has a bloody strange vibes about that place. Very strange. The whole city of London has very strange vibes about it. And I picked that up when I was
Yeah.
a child. We used to go, my parents used to take me down to London. And when I went anywhere near the city, it was like, I wanted to get away from it as quickly as possible. There was something evil about the place.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it
And
is. It is.
Blu-ray said, my father met Tony Blair. Oh, the poor sod. Did he get over it? Did he need psychiatric help afterwards? Or did he, you know,
God.
was it in or
Yeah,
out?
evil
for
is
him? It really is. And I mean, I think that there are, you could look at local councils. It's full of them as well.
Yeah.
I find that demonic.
No, all these people, I mean, this is what's happened. You know, people say, oh, you know, it's the Jews or it's the whatever. It's actually not. What it is, it's this satanic cult which is in cahoots with the demonic realm. It's like they're intermediaries, if you like, and they're everywhere. And there happens to be quite a lot of them in Israel, obviously, because you can see how they behave. But of course, they're in the city of London. They're in Washington. They're here. They're there. They're everywhere. They're in schools. They're in hospitals. They're dispersed throughout society. And of course, because they love the pyramid hierarchy structure, because that way they can control everything from one point.
Yeah.
Everything's set up like that, which makes it a piece of cake. Now, once you get all the people in place at the top of each little mini pyramid within the big pyramid, then you can just run the whole show, which is how
That's
they
right.
do it now. And they've done it. I mean, I don't know. I hope it's not checkmate, but I mean, it's certainly check at the moment.
Oh, you're spot on.
Because they've put it. Everything's been put in place while everyone's just been going around, you know, playing on TikTok and doing stupid shit. And it's like, hello, excuse me. But yeah,
They're very good at misdirection. They're very, very good at misdirection.
It's a father of lies, you know. It's demons are there, but it's all about. And this is maybe we haven't mentioned this. Why? What is all this? Well, personally, I think this realm was sort of like the Gnostics said. It was made as a bad copy. So the original Earth was copied, and it was sort of enclosed in this prison. And whatever reason, we got suckered into being here. Maybe in the beginning it was quite nice and the doors were open. But then once we were here, spirited people, because not everyone has a spirit, right? Here, you can tell, because there's the NPCs everywhere and all the
That's
rest
right.
of it. But
the soulless. There's no soul. There's no soul to
no,
them.
there's
and
no soul.
conscience. I mean,
No, they're totally unconscious, and
look
no
at
soul. You're
Trump.
right. I mean,
Look at Trump.
Well,
I mean, completely
he's
soulless.
been eaten from the inside out. I mean, he literally. That's why now he's like all this crazy shit, because he's literally been eaten from the inside out,
Yeah.
and by demonic forces, and he's surrounded himself. Stupid boy, but anyway, he's surrounded himself with all these other demon possessed people, and so he doesn't get to see what we see. He's really no bloody clue what's going on, you know. But he's lost his. But all this crazy stuff that he writes is the ravings of a demon.
Well, when is effing and blinding? When there's children around that can read that. I mean,
the whole thing is
sorry. There's no state. I mean, surely a statesman, a president has, shall we say, should have self-respect.
No, well, he's demonically possessed, and you've seen his what's she called, the person in charge of the spirituality of the White House or something. That
yes,
crazy woman,
the preacher,
absolutely, yes. Yeah, and she shouts and she says, "Give me $100,000. Give me $100,000." Just freaking. Well, they're all crazy as hell, but this is what we're watching. We're watching a circus put on by the demons.
And we've got a front row seat.
The trouble is, there's these demons, and then there's these ones because there's loads of them, and they're all sometimes they fight each other, you know. But you've got this Ahriman kind of type satanic energy, which is different, which is all about AI, and that's the one that's going to be the new, you know, what they're attempting to do for this new reset. It's a demonic AI collaboration that runs us rather like some people run, you know, disgusting chicken farms where they're all just battery chickens, just, you know, why do they want it? For the energy. And so each end of each reset is a kind of a harvest, which is why a lot of people physically die, because they come for the harvest, which is they generally feed off all our negative energy. That keeps the system functioning. It's a bit like solar energy keeps the system. We're providing the solar energy. So, but all this negative stuff keeps them all alive, keeps all the demons alive, keeps the whole system running. And then now and again they have their harvest. And they are I believe they're taking souls. People say, "Oh, you can't kill a soul." No, I think you actually can. I think spirit is something else. That spark that some of us have, that's part of the thing outside of this ridiculous nut house that we're stuck in, this prison.
You're absolutely spot on there. Now, Barefoot Foreigner says, question, what are the solutions?
Well, the solutions are number one, to see it and to understand it, and to know that you are stronger than it. Who am I? I'm just some 65-year-old English, middle-class English lady. Whatever. I'm nothing. But I have the ability, as do you, to get these creatures, wrap them up, call upon angels if I need to, and remove them into where they get burned up in a central sun in the center of the universe. I can totally destroy them. Like I said to you earlier, they don't have a defense system because they've never had to have it. So if you go on the offensive, you'll be amazed. And we have power over them. We have authority over them. And it's amazing. I grab them and I get them and they're gone. You know, it's important to I just finished didn't even speak, sorry. So the first thing to do is to understand that it exists. 2, that we are more powerful than them and not be afraid. And the third is to clean up our act, to clean up all the emotional garbage that we're carrying around, so we stop feeding them. And do the sort of Buddhist thing, just take a step back, you know, observe what is and don't necessarily judge it one way or the other, and laugh at it as much as possible. Take the piss out of the whole lot. Because
that's exactly the reason. That's it. That's the reason why I use humour. Sorry, carry on, Helen. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's basically it. That's what we can do, and I'm sure there's many other things we can do. But it's really that. And then there's a whole other conversation which I don't know if we've got time for really. You have to get my chickens at some point. But
it's okay.
You know, the other thing is, how do we get out of this loop, which is this die. I mean, we're talking about people with
downward
sciatica.
spiral. That's what it is. It's like a whirlpool. I find you're going round and round and round on this, and we got to get out of that whirlpool.
Well, yes, and I would say it's like that figure of 8. It's the affinity. So we die, we get recycled because we don't know where we are. We don't realize the astral realm is part of this matrix. They say, oh, you were a good boy or a bad boy. You need to go back for whatever reason. And then we get put back, mind wiped. Then they pretend, oh, you're, the new age. Oh, you come here for your self-improvement and evolution. Okay, look, maybe in one lifetime, one can do what one can do. But there's no way that it's about evolution. If you work all your life and you figure it all out and you become really cool and great and enlightened and this and that, and then you get suckered back in again, you put into another crazy family where you get raped when you're 3, you get sent off to some satanic thing, you end up a prostitute and a heroin addict and died at 25. What the F have you learned?
Precisely.
Nothing. Horrible. All you've done is feed the beast. So it's all bullshit, this. But this is what we've been doing. I've been here God knows how many times. Going round. So this time, I'm going to get out. So I'm not going to go to the light. I'm not going to talk to anybody. And I'm going to aim for outside of this grid that keeps us stuck. And there's some interesting people that are talking about that, including Wes Penray. David Icke talks about it.
David Icke, yes. Yes,
and Isabella Green, if you want instructions on how to practice doing that, Isabella Green wrote.
So do acts of kindness. Someone I've said to Chris many times, I do acts of kindness. Bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul, you can come in, mate. Yeah, what are you going to say? Acts of kindness. You do lots of acts of kindness.
No, I was just saying that I do a lot. As you know, Chris, I do quite a lot of acts of kindness, and so I'll give £1 to the cashier for the next individual going through their shopping, and that adds a smile. I think that sort of thing is, they'd hate that. They want us to be against each other, but I think the acts of kindness and even things like the music and stuff like the music industry, it's all demonic, and because when you listen to pop music, it can take you away from where you are, and I think that's a lot of that is to do with controlling how we feel and keeping us low.
Well, I think that also, when you come into contact with these demonic entities, they are soulless. They've got no aim in life whatsoever. They've got no objective in life. And if they possess someone who may be artistic, who can do creative things, that creativity is destroyed immediately. They just got to be sort of soulless nothings, basically. Of no interest, sort of. Absolute nothing. Barefoot Foreigner says that's a very big claim about understanding the nature of Earth. Can you tell me your sources, research for this? Is it channeled from your guides or based on something else? So there we go.
No, certainly not channeled. Yeah, certainly not channeled from guides. I would never do channeling. I love who was an excellent support, and I've worked with a couple of people to help them get rid of demons that came in and didn't leave. So no, definitely wouldn't be channeling. I don't believe that any of these channels are good. They can give you some good information, maybe, the 80-20 rule. They give you 80%, which is kind of interesting and fascinating, and then 20% really F's you over big time. So no, it's not from my guys. No, it's from I read a lot, and so I read a lot of the sort of original Gnostic stuff. So you could look up the original Gnostic material, which predates Christianity and so on, and then just reading all kinds of people. I mentioned a few just then, so I think if you read this, also you could look up another person. You could look up also is what's his name?
Sorry, I can't help you here.
No, I know, because you don't know what I'm talking about. It's the Monroe. What's his name? Monroe. From the Monroe Institute. Mm-hmm. He did a lot of astral stuff, and so he left. It was very easy for him to leave the body. He could literally just sort of decide to leave, and he would literally, his consciousness would leave the body and go off and do all these things in the astral. So you could look up his books. Even another book which is interesting is the Don Juan. The Carlos Castaneda books. He took the whole. If you read, you should read the Carlos Castaneda books again, as I recently did. I read them when I was a kid. I didn't understand them at all. But at the end, the whole point of it is that that Don Juan is teaching his acolytes how to get out, and that's what he does. He and a few of them literally leave in the physical, as is described by, whether it's true or not, fictitious or not, Jesus Christ or whatever. So he literally left in the physical, and he was training his people to be able to do that, not just to go into the astral, but to go beyond and out. And so it was the whole thing about those books was that, and
Oh yes.
so
And also,
it's very interesting. Lots and lots of there's so
and
much information on this.
and setting up a karma around you that projects outwards, because as Paul was just saying, kindness like attracts like. So if you
Yes,
go around
yeah,
trying, and my ambition is similar to what Spike Milligan said: start an epidemic of smiling, smile, and
yeah,
happiness, cheer people
yeah.
up.
Smile at people down the
Make,
street.
make,
Exactly.
make,
Be nice. Yeah,
that's right. And I've found that around 99% of people are generally okay. And yeah, it's Pink Planet says, like attracts like. That's exactly what I just said. Stay in your own happy place. Don't worry. Be happy. Be grateful, and thanks to God. And demons stay away. Yes, you're right there. And once you've
yes,
been in contact with them, though, once you've had demons around you, it's surprised they do leave bits that attract the negatives. And getting
well, yeah.
rid of
You need
the
to.
attracting the negatives, it took me, as I say, 12 years to get rid of him. All I
Yeah.
attracted was
Well, I don't suppose
boozers.
you had much help, did you? You don't suppose. I mean,
No,
if
I
you'd have
didn't have
known,
any help.
no, you just did it by yourself. But anyway, it can it doesn't have to be so arduous. But and again, you've got to be careful with God. I mean, what God? Who's God?
Well,
You know.
precisely. I believe.
You know, these demons love to pretend to be God. Oh my goodness, they do. You know,
Yes, but
all that
to me, yeah,
worshipping. Oh God. Look, if there was a God that's the creator of this universe, he's the creator of all things, and he's in everything, and is omnipotent, omnipresent, and he created everything, all the universe, everything. What the hell is he doing? Wanting a bunch of people to go, oh God, I worship you. You're so marvelous.
trawlers.
Oh, I'm just a little sheep. I'm nothing, and you're so marvelous. It's sickening. It's sickening. We need to stop doing that as well. It's
Well,
like no,
I agree
no,
with you,
don't
because
stop doing that.
I believe there's an energy, but I don't know what the
Oh my
energy
God.
is. But I respect that energy, and I think it's a positive and negative energy, and you've got to go on the positive side of it. And as Dave Allen said, who's I'm a great fan of, you remember the comedian Dave Allen? He
Great,
said,
yeah.
"May your God go with you." And he said, "Heaven must be a terrible place 'cause it's full of crawlers." And I've actually found some of the most horrible people I've come up against have been, what do they call it, born again Christians. I think they've been the most
Oh yeah,
horrible. They've all,
I know.
with the exception of possibly a few, they've all got something to hide.
I know, especially
in their
now,
life.
a lot of these horrible Christian churches, particularly, I don't know about England, maybe. I think I have heard that someone's mother got caught up in some horrible church like that in England recently. But in America, certainly, a lot of these Protestant type churches, they're all saying how, you know, you've got to back whatever Israel says, because it's something to do with the Bible. I was like, what are you talking about? This is an evil political organization. It's
Agree.
nothing to do with the Bible
That's
or
right.
anything godly. And they go, oh
That's
yes,
right.
it's the what is it? What do they call it? They call it the, I forget now.
Oh, we're talking
Judeo-Christian
yeah,
Judeo-Christian history. What are you
Zionists.
talking about? They're completely divorced. One's about love, the other one's about murdering people and raping 3-year-old children, and it's fine. Just read their books to find out what it says. It's
Well,
gross.
the thing is, Benjamin Netanyahu, he's Polish, his background, and the thing is, there
They
are
will.
quite a few Jews that you never hear of that are pro-Palestine and anti-Israel, Zionist
Oh, there's
Israel.
loads. A lot of those
There's
people in
loads.
London.
Yeah,
There's
that's right.
loads of those people in London.
Yeah.
They know what it says. It says, their God, Yahweh says in their book, you my people, you will not have a place of your own. You will
Correct.
be the diaspora. You will not rebuild the temple. You won't do any of these things. That's what it actually says. So yeah, there's millions of Jews that would say this is outrageous, but the ones that are for it, they're not Jews. They're
The
just
fake ones.
pretending to be Jews. They're Satanists. They're absolute Satanists who get joy from killing and raping and murdering, and
Well,
they're just
psychopaths.
hideous.
And
They're
there, and
hiding.
let's face it, there's
Psychopathic.
Christian Zionists. There's all kinds of muddles. But actually, now Alice Gorgeous says, Helen,
Don't believe in
do
God.
you believe in God? You could believe
Which
in God.
God?
You never know. Well,
No, she
that's
means
right.
God. Which God?
What
Whose
she
God?
means, God? I don't know.
Which God? Do I really hear?
On that, what you were saying there,
Who is
Helen,
God? If I was a Hindu, I would say what God? If I was a what God? Allah.
Yeah.
Which God? Yahweh. I believe our Yahweh exists. He's an evil bastard. So I don't know about that. But yes, God. God. I don't know what you mean by that, because I think it's used by demonic forces to fool people. But I believe in good. I
I've said
believe
many
in
times
spirit.
that if God is a good entity, then why have we got such a violent realm that we live on? Because everything kills everything else, no matter what it is.
You're right. Yeah.
Every,
We have to
every-
kill to eat. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
That's right.
If he's such a loving God, it would be the opposite, wouldn't it? We should live. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
live off sunshine.
Why
I
are
agree.
children born blind and deaf and disabled? They've never harmed anybody. That's just something.
No,
that
this
I
realm
don't
is
believe.
but it says it in the Bible. For those religious people here, it says it in the Bible. This realm is run by the Prince of Darkness, Satan. It says it right there in black and white. So it's pretty
Now-
clear who runs this particular show. But that doesn't mean that everyone in it is evil. Quite the opposite. There's
That's
a
right.
lot of extremely good, loving people here, and we have a lot of power. We have a lot of energy, and if they can get us to be hurt, damaged in somehow, and provide them with that negative loosh, that negative energy, that's much better for them, much tastier than having some little NPC being upset about losing the football match. You know what I mean? It's not as good.
I agree with you. Now, Rocky Road to Love 17 said, "Are sleep
Yes, they are.
paralysis episodes demonic attacks?"
Yes. Yes.
So that's interesting.
are.
And
They're-
by the
they're-
way, I must ask you. Well, I should.
The ones
If I
that just the ones I was talking about earlier, the parasites that come and just jump on you,
Yeah,
and they feed off terror.
that's interesting. And it'd be nice to
Yeah,
get Jerry
that
Melwinski
person
on
that-
there.
Blue-
Yeah, sorry, you're going to say. Sorry, carry on.
I
Carry
was
on,
gonna-
Ellen. Sorry.
I was going to say Blu-ray because it's not God's fault. It's people that create it. Well, it's not people, is it? It's not people. It's people that have been destroyed and perverted and corrupted and taken over by demonic entities. I don't think human beings act like that at all. If you removed all the demonic entities and everyone could be cleaned up a bit and we start again, start for fresh, right? None of the old crap. I don't think it would be like it is now. I really don't. I think most people just want to be kind and happy and have a decent life.
I agree with you, and I agree with Alice Gorgeous, what she's just said here. I don't believe in God, but I do know good.
Good, exactly. And that's our connection, that love and that feeling of joy and peace and good. We intrinsically know that, and it's here because obviously
The God is
we
within
wanna-
you. That's
it
the
is.
thing.
That's
It is
what
within
we are
you
connected.
to do good, and people are good. I've actually found people are kind and nice. There was a book written by a bloke who cycled around the world.
Oh, yeah.
And he said the worst place he went to was Hollywood. He got mugged several times. There was people stepping over him in the streets when he got mugged and his bike stolen. But he went to, I think it was Bangladesh or somewhere like that. And he had the 2 bob bits and he was very ill and he collapsed and an ambulance took him away. And he was a bit worried, you see, and he's away for a couple of days. And he thought, well, his bike's not going to be there when he comes back because, the area. When he got back, not only was the bike there, someone had pumped his tyres up as well. And they said, don't worry, it'll be there. And it's a poverty-stricken area. Everything was intact. There was even money in a bag and it was still there. with the tyres pumped up because he had a flat tyre. Somebody pumped it up for him. There
Yeah, it
are
doesn't surprise
really,
me at all.
there are some
Yeah.
very kind people in this world, and this is what we should really look at. And this is why I don't believe in government, because I think kindness will shine through if we did away with bloody governments, because
Absolutely.
all governments are
Yeah, no.
demonic.
Well,
I
again,
don't know.
we're just giving away our power to somebody else, or the government's got to do it. No, just take responsibility for your own life, and you could set
I
up,
agree with you.
you can set up circles of wise people
Yeah.
for different areas. You could have, this area, we've got these wise people, and we want to live in this way, and we all get together and we choose the best people, and they've got a project, and we say we've got an engineering project. Well, who's the engineer? Well, they may as well, look after that project. And who's the most kind of, clever at educating? They can help with educating the children, whatever. Of course, it should be like that, not some
Yeah.
bloody idiot that's chosen by some demonic
Oh,
force,
we're on
and
the
you can choose.
same page here, Ellen. We really are. Carry on, Ellen. I like this. I don't like government.
No, I'm a total. I'm an anarchist in the sense that I
Same here.
don't believe in what they call anarchy, but anarchy means anti-archon. That's what it means.
Really? I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, so I'm anti-archons. I don't want these, and it's basically the archons at the top of the pile, apparently. So you've got the archons here, and then you've got the other groups, all different kinds of groups at different levels, coming all the way down to the sort of, as I say, the sort of blobby things at the bottom.
Now, what do you think, Paul? Do you like governments? Do you think they're nice and fluffy and cuddly and
No, I think they're ruling us, and it shouldn't be the case. We should all be free. Ultimately, in the bigger scheme of things, we should all be free. I do have a quick question for you, though, Helen. I'll tell you, when we go to sleep and we have our dreams, is that our consciousness sort of taking us away to somewhere else, or are we actually still physically within our body? Do we just disappear off for
I think
like
it's a
12 hours, however
combination.
long it may be?
I think it's a combination from my what I guess for myself. I guess it's probably a combination. I think part of it's a kind of defragging of our brain during the night, sort of processing different things that happen or whatever and whatever. But I think sometimes when we have these dreams where they're really vivid, they're lucid dreams, then I think we're somewhere else. And according to Monroe, he would say that there's you can be in the astral here, meaning you could, if you become conscious during your dream, if you look at your hands and tell yourself to look at your hands in a dream, right? If it's a really vivid dream, once you do that, you can take control and you can go, I want to fly over Paris, or I want to fly over my girlfriend's house and she, see her having a cup of tea or something, whatever. But you stay in this realm, and there's the secondary realm, which is a kind of parallel, seems to be a parallel universe to this, where things are similar but not the same. So you could find yourself there, or you go into the astral, and then the astral is like an infinite number of creations, because in the astral, the entities in the astral can create with a thought, and so you could find yourself in all kinds of environments. And again, if you can become conscious in it, you can start to control it. So say, for instance, you're in the astral, and unfortunately you're in the lower levels, and there was some entity was coming at you. You can just intend that you have fire coming out of your hand and just go, and kill it, and that will happen. And you can do that, in a trance state. You can also do that too.
Do you think we link up in dreams? Because the reason why I asked this question is because one of my friends, this was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we were talking on the phone, and she said that on, like, I don't know if it was a Wednesday or Thursday, we were talking, and on the Tuesday, she said, I had a dream where I was in New York, and I had a shiver go down my spine, and I said to her, that's really weird. I said, because that very same night, I had a dream and I was in New York as well. And it makes me wonder whether we link up, or we have. You may have
linked. Yes, I think you can. I mean, people do link up. People that do these groups, astral groups, they purposely say, right, we're going to go together, and then they link up and they go somewhere together. So yes, I think friends and lovers and so on can meet up, and I can well believe that you went with her. Maybe went on a mission. I have a friend who wakes up exhausted sometimes because she goes on missions. She's very psychic. She's an amazing healer. She's in Spain. She'd be interesting for you to have on her show because she speaks great English.
Oh, yes.
And she,
That'd be
especially,
interesting.
she has a very interesting story about how she escaped from from working for the Dark Lord. She was working for one of the banks, and
Really?
anyway, but she yeah, she's very interesting. But she goes on missions. Literally, she's going on missions, helping discarnate souls, meaning souls of humans that have got stuck in that in between layer, and she goes around helping them and getting them, helping them out. So after a disaster or something like that, she could go there to help all these souls that are just lost and don't, what they're just kind of stuck. It would become, I suppose, a bit like a ghost in our realm. But
there was a bloke who was famous in the Battle of Britain. I think he was head of fighter command. I think he was. Was it Dowding? And he believed not only in the afterlife, but he believed that fairies pollinated the plants. He started a society of it. And
That's
the
right.
military people sort of sidelined him, sort of, But the thing is, he was a very interesting man. And not the type you'd think would be a senior bloke in the RAF. It's the least you'd expect it. But it's surprising. A lot of military people are spiritual, are very, very spiritual.
Yeah.
And but the thing that gets me, I mean, have you ever met? I mean, I met my future self, which is still puzzling me to this day. Have you ever known anybody that have met their future self when they're in a lot of, shall we say, depression or very down?
I haven't, but I think that's perfectly possible because apparently, according to physicists, there is no past or future. It's all now. So why not? I mean, I've certainly taken people in trance into past lives, and a couple of times, because most people can't do it, but a couple of times I've had somebody who was very sort of switched on these sort of new kind of rainbow kids or whatever they're called, and who managed to go into their future, who could see themselves in the future. But yeah, I think it's possible. Why not?
Because what happened with me, I mean, I'll be as brief as anything, and I've mentioned this before on the show. I think you've heard it before, Paul, haven't you, when I've said about when I met my future self. It was, I was going through hell. I won't go into details, but I was really down. And of course, it was the usual. The demons were making hell for me, accusations and fear and stress and things like that. And I was walking home from school because my sister is quite considerably big age difference, between me and my sister. I'm the kid brother, very much younger than her. And as I was walking home, it was a beautiful spring day. I always remember that because I remember the blossom and that. And where I lived, I was sort of last one. I was the furthest from the school, you see. My parents always said, if you see a stranger cross the road, because it was a sort of like a leafy suburb I lived in, it was sort of quiet and people mowing their little hedges and things like that. And as I was walking along, in the distance, I could see this chap coming towards me. And for some unknown reason, something said, no, he's okay. He's perfectly okay. Don't cross the road. So I went against and when very rarely, because it was about 4 PM. I'd finished school. I was coming home from school. And when this chap came, he stopped and I looked and it was me. It must have been in my 80s. And he sort of looked at me with a smile. And I always remember what he wore, this long trench coat, winkle-pick shoes. And he said, and it's words like, for a young man, you look as if you've got the world of worries on your shoulders. And as he passed me, he winked and he said, don't worry, it'll pass. And when I looked round, he completely vanished. Gone.
Oh, that's so
and
cool.
I had pain in my pineal gland.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem, something I was being accused of by my sister and brother-in-law, realised I saw things that I'd answer that showed them up as lying. And when I got home, I mentioned it, and I had no more accusations again. So the thing is that somebody said that it's my guardian angel that done that because I was so down at the time.
Or higher self, or you, or even you, in your 80s, going back to heal. I mean, in the hypnotherapy that I do with people, I'm frequently sending them back to talk to their young self, and we
It's
heal
really
the younger
weird.
self, and then we have a little chat. So, and I can well believe that it's experienced. I think it's. So I
The
would
way
say
it
it's your
did
higher
it,
self, or it's you.
could be. But Way winked and said, "Don't worry, it'll pass."
Yeah, perfect.
I thought,
He was right.
I thought I did.
did.
And I felt so much better.
Mhm.
But it's in my book. I'm putting it more detailed in the book, and I'm not plugging it because I say I'm not doing the book for money. I'm doing it because I want to help people, and not feel so alone if they're going through, and also I had to deal with it because you learn the hard way how to deal with it, and it gives you a sort of an inner strength. I think once you've been battered, do you find that the people that come to you, Helen, they have they gain an inner strength that you didn't?
Yeah,
From
and I'll
battle.
answer that. I'll answer that, then I'm going to have to go. And I'll also answer that where Alice says, "Do you think the people will overcome the current tyranny?" Some will.
Hmm.
Some will, because we are more powerful. We really are, but some won't. It's
That's
I don't know.
interesting. But I think we will.
What were you saying just then? What were you saying just then before? I didn't answer you. I was going to ask you. I was going to answer it in the same answer, and I'm a bit tired now.
Don't worry.
What did you say before?
Well, so have you met?
Remember?
Well, yeah, it was. Have you got any clients that have met their future self? I think. And I
Yes.
think
Yes.
you've answered it.
No. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. I know that you said something else afterwards. Doesn't matter really.
Did I? I
Well,
can't remember what it was.
Is that
Sorry,
what
Paul.
deja vu is then as well? Because sometimes it
Deja
can
vu,
be.
yeah, deja
You
vu.
can
I
go
think that's
to a
the
new
Matrix.
place and still
Yeah.
recognise it. And is that from a
I
previous
think that's a
life where
glitch
we've
in the
been there
Matrix.
before?
No, I don't think so, because it wouldn't be a previous life, because you say in a place that is the same. It's modern. It could be in a modern place, but I think they're glitches in the Matrix. I don't think this is real. In real. I think that again, everything. If you that wave and the that experiment, the slip experiment, where everything's it's a wave when you're not looking at it, and it becomes a photon, a particle when you look at it. So everything is organized through consciousness. So consciousness, so you can say the God consciousness is we're within the God consciousness, from which all things can come. But we can change that. We are co-creators with that, and I don't think anything's as fixed as we think it is. And that you see it, the Matrix is always screwing up. There's weird shit, like you see, there's people that suddenly see a cloud that's like completely straight, or there'll be two suns appear, or the sun starts flickering. You've seen those people, the sun starts flickering, or you have these deja vu experiences, and I think there's more and more of these weird little glitches.
We will win. I think we will win,
will
and I'm optimistic. I'm very optimistic because, quite honestly, they're like little boy that cried wolf. They cry wolf too often, and people are not.
Well, people are waking up, especially now, and I mean those that aren't going to wake up, they're never going to wake up. So don't waste your time on that. But if people haven't woken up now, I'm a bit like, really? I don't know what's going to take them to wake up. But anyway, but maybe a few more will. But I don't think it doesn't take 51%. It takes probably a small percentage of people, the bodies. There's a lot of bodies around. It takes a small percentage of us focusing on what we want and opting out of it. It comes back to the same old thing. Well, stop supporting it. Stop voting for the love of God. Find a way to just don't give them any money. Don't pay tax.
Precisely.
Move into the country.
You're into it. Yeah, this is the, and also
You have to-
ignore
this is
them out
it.
of existence. Ignore them.
Ignore them. And when you see them on the street, laugh at them, heckle them, spit at them,
That's it. Yeah.
rotten bananas at them. Don't give them any authority, and just go no. But people won't. They'll just go. They got.
Well, I don't know. In Ireland,
It's so sad. It's so sad.
any MPs they can't shop. They go into shops and they refuse service.
Good.
They won't
That's
know.
what it should be. All these people, everybody. And I know some brilliant pub owner kicked out old Queer Starmer a couple of years ago. Great, do that. Get out of my shop. Get out of my restaurant. Get out of my shop.
Yes.
No, and when they're seen on the street, just heckle them, whistle at them, spit at them. Whoa, boo. Make their life shitty. and don't give them. This is
That's
so
right.
silly. Travis, we go to school. They say, "Sit down, shut up, do as you're told," and we're trained
To be
to accept
subservient.
authority over and
That's it.
be slaves. It's like,
The
stop
leader in a
it.
pack. And this is what I don't like. You see, the thing is that there's this pyramid idea. Oh, we need a leader. But when you look at all these societies, for example, look at the Amish. They don't have leaders. They have the elders, but they don't have leaders.
That's
But
right.
look at the Yellow Vests. They didn't have a leader. And the French government wanted to speak to their leaders who ain't got one.
No, that's how
Brilliant.
it needs to be. Otherwise,
how
it'll be
must
any
be the
group.
way.
Otherwise, every group. If you're not that, you will be corrupt. The group will be corrupted.
Yeah.
Because
I
all we
agree
have
with
to
you.
do is get the top guy, girl, whatever it is, and then it's gone. It's finished. Like loads,
And
you can think of loads of examples of that happening.
I've never felt comfortable when we're near clubs and organisations and groups. I want to get away because the problem is, I mean, the only time I've gone against that was with the lockdown because I felt so isolated. I was the only one walking around without a bleeding face nappy on. And
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it must have been pretty awful where you were. I mean, was you in Brazil at the time of the lockdown or?
No, yeah, well, yes, I was. I was in Spain at the time when it happened, and then I won't go into the whole story. Perhaps you heard me talking on Paul's show the other day, but yeah, I was in Spain, and then as the minute that Brazil took down its, opened the borders again, I was on a plane. I was on a plane to here. I wanted to get as far away from Europe, America, the West, as far away as I could. Southern Brazil is great. I could talk about that another time, but I love
It
living
sounds
here.
nice, doesn't it?
So
You've got nice
nice.
beaches as well, haven't you? Have you got nice tropical
Beautiful.
beaches and things?
Beautiful beaches, gorgeous beaches, green everywhere, life, people are kind, people are nice.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
it's good. It's
And
a cool place.
but they're trying to learning Portuguese because it's not a very common language. Is it similar to Spanish or I don't know? Is it?
Similar to Spanish, but different. But yeah, it's an interesting language.
Hmm.
But you
But
know what? I've got to go. I love this conversation, but I've got to go because it's getting
and
really almost
please,
dark.
you're
my
a regular
chickens
now.
to come
Oh,
in.
and you're a regular now. So please, if I get Jerry Mowinski on, you'll be more than welcome coming on to speak to Jerry. Have you
Yes.
spoken to Jerry?
Yeah, no, he's a good guy because he's gone from
He is.
mainstream and realised it's a load of old crap, and that's what's wrong with these people. Listen, you could empty the prisons, you could empty the mental
I agree with
institutions,
you.
you could if you just had some exorcists in there.
Yeah,
Instead, they
I
give
agree.
you a pill and then or bang you up and treat you like shit and traumatize you even more, and you come out with even more demons attached. It's like, are you? Well, they're not crazy. They're doing it on purpose because they're the ones running the show. So there you go.
You're right. Well, Helen, thanks a
Anyway.
million for coming on tonight. We're going to carry
You're
on
welcome.
when you go on.
All right.
And it really has been really enjoyable. And it's the type of show that Dave Starbuck, the late Dave Starbuck, always used to say, leave the audience wanting more. And I think
That's
this
it.
show,
All right.
everyone wants more because it is very, very interesting subject. And by the questions we have, I'm sorry I haven't been able to put all the questions up there, but it really is a fascinating subject. And
Yeah, I'm
before
happy
you
to
go,
come on again and just answer questions if you like.
please do, yes. And we go into the poll now, which is the FOCOM poll, and it says poll on entities. 29% said is war with Iran Agenda 2030, and 29% believe it is. 14% said yes, demons do exist, and 43% said psychopaths run governments, and 14% said they have encountered demonic possession. So that's quite interesting.
Well,
And the
you just
poll
have to
remain
look at your politicians to see the demonic possession right there in your face.
local,
Oh, my God.
and I think what we can cover again, and I upset people when I go into is Freemasons, because I do believe that a lot of the Freemasonry people are possessed, because I think they
At the
open
top,
portals
yeah, at the top they are.
with these
I've got to
secret.
go.
Anyway,
I
goodbye.
love you
See
all.
you, Helen. And
Ciao.
come on again soon. And we're going to get
All right,
Jerry
love.
Mowinski on. Thanks,
Okay,
William.
cool.
And give my
Ciao.
love to your chickens, won't you?
I will, indeed. Okay, bye. Ciao.
Good night.
See you. Good
There
night.
we go.
Now, that was fascinating, wasn't it?
It was.
That was really, really great. Now, I must ask you, Paul, have you ever come up against demonic possession at all? Have you ever had
Not
it?
demonic possession. No, I don't think I've ever been possessed in that respect. I think I have quite a, dare I say, quite a good aura around me a lot of the time, and
Mm.
I was always told I was always smiling and always seemingly happy, and I am
Yeah.
quite a happy chappy, I suppose, for the most part.
Oh
I have
yeah,
my moments like we all do,
will do.
but I try and pass that energy on where I can. I mean, there's times when I've
Mm.
been low. There's been times when I've not wanted to be here anymore, and
Mm.
that was going back many years of the previous job I did, where I couldn't see any way out, and that was
Mm.
less good, should we say? I couldn't.
Yeah.
You can see where I'm heading with that one, but
Yeah, I
no,
understand. Yes.
but in the last 6 7 years, I've my attitude's changed. I don't
Mm.
I don't live in fear anymore, and I just think it's brilliant.
Well, I'm a bit like that. Hang on, I just noticed my bleeding camera's gone a bit wacky doodly piddly bonky poos. Here we go. That's better, isn't it? Yes, but I think that you're right. The- I do think like attracts like, but that's what I wanted to find out from Helen, which I found out is yes, you're not necessarily demonically possessed, but there's something on you that attracts the demonically possessed or the weird, and they're
Yes,
probably souls that want help. I don't know. But because when you go out in the streets, you're amongst people, and it's a million to one chance that you might walk into somebody or bump up against somebody. You don't know what is around. But I've actually found, I don't know whether you like this, Paul, you get a sort of sense about people, whether they're genuine or not, sort of from people, or, oh yeah, they're okay. Did you get that at all?
I get. I don't know how to explain how to answer that one. I suppose ultimately, I suppose you'll get people who'll walk right past you and not notice you. And you can do a
Mm,
smile, you can do whatever you want, a good day to you, whatever. They'll completely blank you. But no,
mm.
I'm a bit
Now,
unsure on that.
X-Ray says, wow, you keep a clean computer desk area, Eric. Well, thank you very much. Yes, yes, was it? Um, now, Alice Gorgeous has a question. Says, does Evrio, Paul, have any solutions to us obtaining our freedoms, please?
I think the biggest one, I've said this many times, is unity. We need to be in unity rather than fighting each other. We're all on the same side. We're all trying to get to the same destination ultimately. And
Hmm.
I think the biggest challenge is for us all to be in. We just need to be united with each other, and
Hmm.
because I find sometimes that we're still very much we are on the same path, but we're not
Hmm.
all on the same path, and there's certain things that get said where. So how can I put the truth community seems to get a lot of negativity, whereas I
Hmm.
think ultimately we all need to be united. We all need to be in unity with each other.
Positive.
And at the end of the day, the unity is what will get us through,
Yes.
in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Now we've got some very urgent question here. This is Eric. Where is Fred the spider plant? Is he no longer? Fred is right next to me here, but I'm at a different angle
I was
because
just
you
say
know
for
that Jeremy Irons is on my right and he's normally on my left. It's because my other computer, you see the keyboard here, is
screwed.
Scrooge, yes. I was going to say no. I wasn't going to say is bucket. There was happened is I put it on tonight. The bleeding screen kept. I think the computer's all right. The bleeding screen kept switching itself off, switching itself on, switching itself off and on. And they say it's the drivers. But how can you change the drivers when the bleeding screen keeps going on and off like a bleeding
Check check the
Valencia
cable at the
beacon?
back. Sometimes they come a bit loose and might need it just to shove
That's a
back
good
in, as it
point.
were.
Yes.
That's what Keir Starmer says.
That's a good idea. Yes. So I'm on a different computer tonight. So that's the reason why. See, but I'll assure you. But because that's a well, anyway, it's complicated. But there I am. But the other thing is that this thing about meeting yourself and things like that. No, it's sort of that still puzzles me. It still does. And the weirdest thing about meeting myself, it's several years later when I started work. I bought a pair of shoes, which I've still got, and a trench coat exactly the same as what that bloke had on, which was me.
It obviously
Creepy.
made an impression on you, and obviously, if you took
Yeah.
on board what your elder self had told you,
Hmm.
and you're in a better position now than where you were, so it's got to be a good thing,
Well,
isn't it?
well, that's it. Because what was happening is that I was going through hell because all the time you imagine being stressed out all the time, continuously stressed because you wonder what's going to hit you on the broadside. Because that is what a demonic possession is about. People that are demonically possessed will create continuous tension because kind of they feed off of that tension. And this is what governments do. This is why they're depressing us all the time. World War III. Oh, gonna do this. Conscription. Oh, all this sort of crap. That all the
Yeah,
time.
that's what I was saying before about it. It's like with the music they play, the pop music and stuff like that. It's
Mm,
all about lowering our vibration, if you like. If that's the right description,
mm,
making us feel down and low, and then if you just trying to get past it all and
mm.
ignore it all, and like you can say, ignore their world ultimately. I know we
Yeah.
can't ultimately get out of it. There's still elements of it that we can't escape from as it stands,
Well,
but
that's right.
just keeping that to a minimum, and
Yeah, I agree with you,
we are
and
going
I
to
think
win.
you're right. Now, Exos says cursed events are maybe a product of our own view and experience of life by the time you become an adult. You've got a very good point there. I mean, I had an experience, was it a couple of weeks back? Months? I don't know. I was walking back from the shops, and it's a fair walk. It's quite a long walk, and I didn't go by car because I needed the exercise, and it was getting dark, so it must have been around about February, March time, and I was a bit knackered, and I thought, I could do without this, and I was walking along, so I decided to change my frequency. I was thinking, this is a nice walk. I'm enjoying this walk. I'm not knackered. And there was this lady and gentleman coming towards me. I think they must have been West Indian or something. And it was an empty sort of road because it's like a lane that they're walking down. Not many people down there. And there's a car coming out of a side turning, and the pavement was a little bit narrow. So I stood back and let the lady and gentleman come along. And I got this incredible warmth and smile from this woman. She said, "Bless you, thank you." Something like that. No, she was something. God bless you. That was it. God bless you. Thank you so much. And I thought, wasn't that nice? And it really made me feel good. And I think there must be Jehovah's Witnesses or something. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. But they're obviously Bible type of people. They're very smartly dressed. So I
On my
assume they're
walk
Jehovah's
to work,
Witnesses.
some days there's an African woman who
Yeah.
I see on occasion, very on occasion,
Yeah.
and she's always smiling, always happy, and
Yeah.
I always say good day to you and have a fantastic day, and she'll say the same thing back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a
That's it.
chap who cycles past me. I don't know what time I go to work, but if I'm on time,
Yeah.
he'll sort of cycle past and he'll wave back good day to you, and I think it's brilliant.
That is
And it
great.
just makes a difference. It just makes so
Mm.
much of a difference.
I
Yeah,
agree with you, and I think also I mean, there used to be a thing called the Polite Society, which because what was his Oliver Hardy said that if the whole world was polite to each other, there wouldn't be any war. Which is 100% true.
yeah,
He's right,
yeah.
and respect. And I'd like to sort of have something called decent folk, and that is decent folk. It doesn't matter what age you are, what religion you are, what culture you are. It's just decent folk respect other people, and it would be nice to have a sort of, I'm sorry, I'm decent folk. We don't do this type of thing, and I think that sort of that there was an area, I think it was in London, that there's all different people lived there. There was all different religions and things, and suddenly there's a spate of prostitution came along, and this street became absolutely full of cars pulling up, picking up girls. And the local residents got so peed off with this, the government and the police did nothing. They went out taking the car numbers, and then you had uh, 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 sort of strict religious Jews, with the old ringlets and that.
Yeah.
Catholics and all kinds of people. And one of them said, he said, we're decent folk. And I think that's a lovely term. We're decent folk. We don't want this. It's piss off, we don't want it. And I think that sums it up. We want decent folk that will not be sodded around by governments.
Well, I do have a question, and it's something I noticed a few weeks ago. The gentleman side of blokes seems to have vanished, and there seems to be very little. I consider myself to be a bit of a gentleman. I suspect that you would be as well. And I was waiting to Chester for a train back home, and got to the train pulled in, door stopped by where we were, pressed the door to open, and I let these two women on. This bloke behind me said, "Aren't you getting on the train?" I said, "No." I said, I'm a gentleman. I'm letting the two women on first. I said, "You might want to learn about what it actually is." And he didn't know what to say. I said, well, years ago, that would have been
I agree
natural.
with you.
We'd let the women get on first. Being a gentleman, hold the door for them, and
I agree.
that
We
seems to have
need more
gone.
chivalry and gentlemanly and politeness. And I've actually noticed, I don't know whether you've noticed this, if you wear a suit, people treat you differently to if you don't wear a suit. Have you noticed that?
I haven't worn a suit for years. Last time I wore a
I
suit
often
was
do.
to a Christmas party, and that was about 30 years ago.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
and I actually find that people sort of, I don't know, they treat you like a different kind of person. It's very, very odd, but because, I mean, when I go on my bike, I dress like a rag bag, actually, because you get crap thrown up. And by the way, we're going to get the outro any moment now. It's going to kick in. So the Food for Thought Radio, we're going to have, it catches me out every week. I think it's about another 30 seconds, but we'll carry on until it starts. And what I was going to say is when I go by bike, you wear dark clothing because you get muck and filth thrown up from cars and stuff. But generally, I like to dress reasonably smart. And I've found that if I wear a suit, it's weird. People do treat you very differently. So thank you, sir, and things like this. It's weird.
It's probably because they think you're the mafia or something like that. They probably think you're coming to take some money off them.
That's right. And we got the intro music coming along. The outro, here we come. Every week it happens.
I guess it's whatever you're comfortable in, isn't it? I suppose. I mean, I'm quite comfortable in my jeans and t-shirt and
I am.
But like I said before about the kinesiologist I went to see, he was saying that the colour of the clothes that you wear can affect how you feel, because obviously that
Sorry, it's the outro tune.
Sorry about that. Sneaking out now. I don't even know about them.
As well, I should have had those beans today. That's the trouble with a cold. It does sort of things to your body, doesn't it? Here it comes. Good night to Food for Thought Radio.
Book Club. Wake up your mind. Fill up your day. Oink, oink. Smart little bites that brighten your way. You're listening to Food for Thought Radio. Here at FFTradio.com. Club Moo, oink.
And as we said goodbye to Food for Thought Radio, but we can still carrying on Rumble, YouTube, Telegram, what's the other one? Facebook. Hang on a minute. Holy Land Radio, Holy Land FM, and I think Soapbox Radio as well. So there we go. So thank you very much. And what was this? Matilda. When I had my head shaved, people treated me differently. Yeah, I found that when I had my head shaved, bleeding fell out my hair. Are you follically challenged, Paul? Or are you a hairy person?
I'm a hairy person. I got the clippers out last week, and decided to get rid of the beard and get the hair back down to a shorter height. And then it went bloody freezing outside, so now it's freezing. It
Well, I
was
don't have much
lovely and
choice about
snug. I had a beard. I was starting to look like David Bellamy at one point. But I tell you what, it was
Really?
bloody warm under there.
Mm.
Flaming freezing now.
I've never had a beard, but I had a moustache once. And I had a bald patch in it. And people used to take the piss out of it. And he had it for about a week, and I shaved it off in the end, you know. I said, oh, bleed, now here he comes with his bald patch with his moustache. But my voice is sort of giving out, and pardon me, because it's remnants of cold is still around. But what I was going to say is tomorrow night we've got the Bowler Hat Farmer coming on. I'm going to talk about fertilizer, because is what we're being told about fertilizer true or a load of fertilizer? Because this idea that fertilizer from the Middle East, which I didn't know came from the Middle East, so they say it's a byproduct of the petrochemical industry, and it feeds most of the world. Is that to be believed or not? Well, stay tuned, because I'm going to ask the Bowler Hat Farmer that question. I don't know.
I was thinking about something else as well, because I was down in London yesterday, Saturday. I ended up at a place called Coulsdon in Surrey, East Sussex.
Coulsdon,
and I know we were the Bowler Hat Farm. He was talking about aircraft, and he'd put that question to a pilot and said, "Well, what are the engines for?" And the pilot had said, "Landing and takeoff and landing." Well, when I was down in Coulsdon yesterday, I noticed a glider flying around on the old where they used to take them by a plane, drop the chain, and the glider would go off on its own. I was looking at that glider and thinking, well, if you were going to make a glider, you'd have big wings on it so it stays up. But these things aren't. They're piddly little. It's like something you'd make out of with a load of twigs. And I think, well, that's not really designed to glide. So how does it glide?
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
And the other thing I was thinking about, and it's slightly off subject as well, is that we notice that a lot of the old world buildings get torched. Is that what these grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 listed buildings are all about? Is it a list of the ones they want to get rid of rather than
It sounds like it. But there's also a grade 1 listed building in Hammersmith in London, which is just built in the 60s, which should be dynamited. And so that was the one that was made by Goldfinger. Well, designed by him, as the architect of it. And there's that hideous heap of crap that they built in Hammersmith. And people go, they have a word solid on it. Oh, it's this, that. Something's beautiful. It doesn't have to be described. You know, it's beautiful. You know, if someone's trying to describe it to you, it's not beautiful. It's crap. It should speak for itself. All beauty speaks for itself. You don't have to have it described. You know, and this is what gets me with architecture. You know, there's sort of these people with word salads. You know, and they can make something bland look. Oh, as well as the light hits it, it gets aesthetic feeling of this. Oh, sod off. You know, that's the thing. We lost our way in 1914 with the end of Art Nouveau, and it's never come back. And this is what we want the return of: Art Nouveau. Beautiful.
Well, I do wonder if we still had streets full of old world buildings, how different we'd all feel. I think we'd all feel a lot better and a lot different than the shitty buildings they're chucking up now. Well, I mean, they've just created a new area within Telford called the Station Quarter, and I'm not joking. I could probably make buildings better out of Lego than what these architects have done. And it's been a building site now for a year and a half, 2 years, and they're starting to put these things up, and they're putting bricks on the outside of them, but they're not using the old cement. They just literally knock them in with a hammer. Well, is that what bricklaying is these days? They just knock it into a wire mesh. Well, that's your bricks then. Okay. So what happens when it's windy then?
Well, precisely. But the big problem is they turn bricklaying from a skilled profession to a semi-skilled, and old property used to have lime mortar, and that's why in World War II, many of the buildings stood up, because the walls could flex, because lime mortar never fully cures, and it's very easy to demolish something that's a wall that's got lime mortar with it because the bricks will come away easily.
Yeah.
Nowadays they use cement mortar, so it's like a pane of glass. So if they had something similar to World War II, most of the houses would just be flattened because you notice that look at where parts of London were bombed, there's still houses standing because they were constructed of lime mortar, not cement mortar. And there's things like that. But what gets me is I saw a picture of my local town the other day, the way it used to be in the 1960s. Now it's all this 1960s shit they've put up.
Yeah. Concrete.
Well, it's amnesia architecture. I mean, there's something about, I don't know, the kind of Victorians and the beautiful properties, beautiful architecture. Not any longer. It's shit. And that's
It
it.
makes you wonder if it's the buildings that cause crime rates and stuff like that. So, like for example, I always remember Thamesmead. I've talked about Thamesmead before, and that's all been redeveloped now. But when Thamesmead was a new town, it was basically a concrete jungle. It was just literally
That's right.
lines and lines of concrete buildings, and apparently it was one of the most dangerous places to go to. But is that because of the buildings? Is it the buildings that
Yes, I think it
change
is.
people's going back to demonic possession?
I
and
agree.
things like
I
that?
agree with you. They used to
Because
also. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut in on you there. But they also had squad standing by because more people threw themselves off the top of the building of Thamesmead than any other place. It's a suicide spot.
yeah, I'm not surprised. It was. I went through Thamesmead at the towards the latter when they were demolishing a lot of it. It's now obviously been redeveloped now, and it was fucking hell, you think, please don't let this bus stop anywhere. They'll have the bloody wheels off it. You know what I
I
mean? It's
know.
a rough place.
Well,
Abbey Wood. That's where I got offered.
oh, Abbey
Yeah,
Wood. Oh, Christ! But the
yeah,
fact of the matter is that when I was studying architecture, there's a film called about defendable space, and what a couple of architects discovered in America, they're both dead now, I believe, is that we've got this primeval attitude where we have a defendable space. For example, Exo says Beachy Head. Yes, another place where people top themselves off. You go over with cars and things like that in Beachy Head. But no, what I was going to say is that it was told that architecture works on the subconscious, and this idea of defendable space. What they did an experiment in America where they had a sort of communal sort of housing block, and they had a grass patch, but with no fence.
yeah.
And they made this film, and people stood deliberately on the grass. The people were coming out of the building, not taking a blind bit of notice. They then put a small wicket fence, I think about 6 inches high, around the grass patch. They then went on that patch to make a film again, and within about a minute, someone came out and said, "Excuse me, what are you doing here?" Because there is defendable space. And this is the thing that these communists don't understand. Everybody needs defendable space, a space that we defend like our own fortress,
Yeah,
our own
yeah.
home. And that's it. Look at open plan housing estates that they had in the 60s. Before long, people are putting fences around. Communal doesn't work. It really doesn't work.
But is that a psychological thing? Because
This.
again, in that respect, because I listen when I'm on the trains and stuff that we get every station you get this state sorted thing.
Yeah.
Where you want to be in fear of everybody else on board that train, even though the chances are everyone on board that train is fine. And I wonder if it's out in society in that, well, I say, well, good neighbours good fences make good neighbours, but without those fences, we'd all be a community then, wouldn't we? Because if you lived in a community, like I was saying before, where, I don't know, we have what would be like, I don't know what the term I'm looking for, but we'd have your communities together where you'd all work together. Well, then that
Theoretically,
doesn't it?
but the trouble is with housing estates, it's people there to make money. They're out of work all week, and the only time they're at home is at weekends, and that's when their kids run riot. And with housing estates, what I noticed is that when they're first opened, there's rows, there's neighbours don't get on with each other. It's terrible. Whereas a community's got to come together naturally, not artificially. And unfortunately, housing estates are artificial communities. when things come together naturally, for example, where I live, if I started growing vegetables and there's a food shortage, I'm pretty sure that I can't not accuse or anything like that. Those vegetables will be nicked out my garden pretty bleeding quick.
Yeah.
And the community, I don't know about that. People think very, very differently, but we got on all well on this show, and that we're a community because we've attracted each other. Everybody's attracted each other because like attracts like. Whereas where I live, no, we've got all different types of people, all different ideas in life, all different goals, attitudes, the lot. It's this is the thing. I mean, I walked down to the local, well, I say local supermarket. It's quite a long walk actually. It's about 3/4 of an hour's walk, and now I live in a semi-rural area. And as I was walking down there, now this was a Saturday afternoon. There's no one around. It's deserted. I then saw a woman on a push bike with a radio at thermonuclear volume on it. She's singing away, going past me. Then there was a school that was all locked up. Give me one moment. And there's a girl opposite the school, and there's like a timber bollard that's about that high. And she was praying to the bollard and sort of blessing it as if it was some sort of entity. It's just a bollard. Don't know why. I was thinking, and there's also a woman that takes her dogs for a walk with bleeding mask on. I don't know why, But Gaelic School just is spot right on. Social housing is designed for disputes. Spot on.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I'll look at that with America as well. That's how I've never been to America, but I have been to America on Google Maps, for example.
Yeah.
And all their housing always seems it's always made of wood rather than bricks and mortar.
Timber veneer, yeah.
Yeah, so they're all designed to be there just temporary rather than like all these places where they get the like the tornadoes, for example.
That's right.
They're made them out of concrete or out of some serious bricks and stuff like that. They might actually withstand. Yeah,
money.
Yeah. Insurance payouts. We
Well,
can't pay.
Look at Australia. They have what's called the triple fronted wood veneer, and on housing sites there, no two houses have got to be the same next to each other. It's part of their building regulations. They've got to be different. That's in some, not all states, but because they've got states in Australia like America, they have different laws in different states. But quite honestly, housing, it's all to do with money. It's all it boils down to: money, money, money. I mean, my particular forte was industrial and commercial, and I worked briefly in housing, and I hated it because it's just ink slapping. You have 1 hour to do a design that would take about 3 or 4 days. You can't think it through. You just got to just design it. That's it. There's no thought. And they say architect design. No, it isn't. It's a technician that's done it in about an hour, if that. And if you can't do it, they get someone that can. It's ruthless. It's the housing business.
Well, I think when you look at modern houses now, they do seem to all be blueprints of each other. So no matter where you go, they're putting houses up left, right, and centre here in Telford, and I could see the exact same house in Crewe. I could see the exact same house in your neck of the woods. You go, and no matter where you go, they all look the same. It's just the blueprint.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I actually think they should hand housing back to the people. Yes. And that way, what they do in Greece, you buy a plot of land and you get the house built on it. And in Germany, there's certain places where you could actually buy a plot of land and you get a flat pack house being built on it. And it's up in a couple of days. But I think that what we should have is that the house reflects the local area. Like, for example, you go to the Cotswolds, you have a certain design there. I mean, look at Devon, beautiful cottages they had. And those cottages are made of mud, believe it or not. Now, this is something, again, that architects say, oh, you don't like it because it's new. No, it's bullshit. It's not new. I mean, we had the Great National Building Disaster of the 1960s, and that's what it's called, the Great National Building Disaster, where they threw these blocks of flats up. They're inhuman, totally inhuman.
Yeah.
That's just the thing. And it works on your subconscious. They found that where they've chopped trees down to save money on lopping trees, the crime rate goes through the roof. Keep the
Yeah,
trees
yeah,
there, the crime rate lowers. It works on the subconscious all the time because the mind, we have been designed to look at curvature and nature, not straight, not flat. Nature isn't flat, unless you believe in the flat Earth like yourself. But even that's not flat.
mm, yeah,
We're not
yeah,
fully flat. Look at cells or anything like that. Anybody all round and curved and things like that. You look at a beautiful woman, nice curves and things like that. She's not sort of flat like a robot. You imagine if they made
yeah.
robotic ladies for men, like cornflake package. Hello, darling. How are you this evening? So,
You turn up and say, "I've got a virus." Bloody
yeah.
typical that is.
You pull the bleeding. What do you call it? The SIM card out.
You gotta take your power charger out. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
It's plugged in the back.
But here we are. It's all grey and ugly, as if it's designed by AI. And that's Susan Britton. I agree with you. And Exo says, "Is that?" Oh, hang on. No, got the wrong one here. Where was it? Oh, yeah, here it is. Exo says, "Telford Wimpy Homes PLC Anorak."
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I think the street lighting follows the same pattern as well.
yeah.
In the respect that we've got all LED lighting everywhere, but it's fake light. The light does never hits the
Oh,
ground. It's just around.
horrible.
The interestingly, we've got Church Stretton not far from here, which is a Freemason hotspot. And you know something? There's no LED or very few LED street lamps in Church Stretton.
Whoa, what a surprise!
The only ones
Yeah.
that I've seen are around by the school, and that's it. All the others are the old orange style tungsten ones, the decent ones, not the
Yeah.
LEDs.
What was wrong with tungsten? I mean, it's perfect. Headlights now of cars. My headlights are bleaking crap compared to the way they used to be. I mean, it's just awful. I don't
Yeah,
know
no, I
what's
agree.
what's going on. Anyway, I don't know about you, but the colds take a long time to go. It likes me so much; it's just hanging on. My voice is sort of drying up a bit.
Vitamin
Thank you.
C, vitamin D, clear all
Well,
that.
yeah. Yes, I'm dosed up to the eyeballs with vitamin C, vitamin D. I haven't taken your advice of nettles. The reason why, it's a diuretic, so I didn't want to keep skipping to the loo all the way through the show.
I think combined with things like dandelions and
Well,
it
I got
keeps it
dandelion
on. Honestly,
tomorrow.
it keeps it away. It's I'm a bit
Mm,
croaky now, but no detox, you would say. But
yeah.
yeah, it's
Well, what I should have done, you see, I actually thought it was hay fever. And if I'd have known that it was a cold, you got to get early with it. I'd have taken my bicarbonate of soda remedy, and that would have killed the bastard there and then. But I thought it was hay fever, so I went 2 or 3 days. And of course, if you don't catch it early, that's it. But no, if you take half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, put it in a beaker of water, and take that every 2 hours, it'll kick the cold out of the way. And the reason why is a cold can't survive in an alkaline environment, and our food is
yeah.
acid. So that's the
Well,
theory behind it.
have you had something acidic or have you had sugar in recent times?
I know I don't have sugar now, but I did have some dates this morning, and that's sugar. So I think that's what's driving my throat out a bit.
Because sometimes that can trigger it. It's usually your
Mm,
body's way of detoxing. But as I said to you last week a little bit before, it's possible the energies around us as well affecting all of us how we
I
feel.
agree with you. I agree with you there. I think the energy has gone negative into my computer there. Don't know what it is, but bleeding thing.
Just try
But
the cable.
oh, I do
Honestly,
this
it's
big bad one. It probably
try
is
the
the
cable
cable.
and
I'm gonna have a go. Yeah, and I've tried swearing at it as well. That does help a lot. Helps me, makes me feel better. But yeah, I tried the cable.
that's
In fact, I'm thinking of changing the cable. I think the cable was had it.
you're afraid it's gone.
Yes, it's had it. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight, Paul.
No
It's much
worries. Thank you.
appreciated. It's great talking to you. Tomorrow night you're more than welcome on. It's the Boulder Hat Farmer. I think you've spoken to the Boulder Hat Farmer, haven't
Oh
you?
yeah, 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 yeah. He's
Yeah.
good. He's good
And
guy.
he's very good. We're going to be talking about fertilizer because I think we're being told a load of fertilizer. I'm not sure it's true what they're saying. I mean, they're telling us that most of the fertilizer comes from the Middle East, from the oil industry. It's a byproduct of the oil industry. And we're going to have mass famines if that doesn't come out. from the Middle East? How did civilization start? How could they grow food years ago? It's something
To be honest,
nuts.
it sounds like a load of BS. To be honest with you, but
Well, it
no pun
does, doesn't it?
intended. But
I mean, I think, with the farming and things, I mean, I don't know if they do that around where you live, but near where I live, there's some fields where they still do muck spreading. Do you muck spreading
yeah,
around where you are?
that's what they
You
should
know,
be doing. That's
they
what
get,
I say about with regards to the where they now tell people to pick up their dog poo and stuff like that. I
Mm.
think obviously not leaving it on footpaths and stuff, but in like hedgerows and stuff like that. Let nature take its course. That gets nutrients back into the ground.
That's a
By
good point.
removing it and chucking it in the plastic bag and chucking it in the bin, you're removing nutrients from the ground that flies and stuff like that would
Hmm,
let nature take its course, obviously within
that's
reason.
right. Well, if you eat an apple, people think, "Oh, you're littering." No, if it's in the woodlands, you just chuck the apple core,
Yeah,
and animals will eat that. It's food for the animals. You're not littering. And by the way, Alice called us a steam inhalation might help, Chris. That's a good point. Yes, that's
just not tap water.
not tap water. No, no. But what have I got tomorrow morning? Tomorrow. Oh, I've got liver tomorrow. So there we go.
I had
Because I had
liver
liver
tonight.
today.
I had
Very
liver
good
tonight.
for vitamins.
Did.
Yeah, that's the reason why I have it, because of it's got the vitamins in it for me cold. It's going anyway. My voice is definitely is going. Thank you so much for coming on, Paul. And it just leaves
Thanks,
me
Chris.
to say, please put the thumbs up and consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything. It's free of charge. Tell others. And there's all the adverts down below about buying a coffee and buying books and things like that. And I didn't ask Helen whether she's got a book to promote, things like that. So you never know. And are you going to write a book, Paul, about train sport?
No, I'm not. I'm not that skilled. I did write a book many years ago. It was just a transport-related thing for the West Midlands, but it's the only one I've ever done. And I'm not a millionaire, so not that I want to be, but
Well, no, you can do it. You can do it free now. You know. Oh, it's Aunt Sally. Thank you, lad. Sorry I got here late. You miss all the fun. Yes, but
was it a bath session?
it must have been a bath session. Must have been, yes. And I don't know what it is. Everything's put me off of going to make this film about Waltham Abbey. I'm hoping to do it on a Wednesday. The reason I do it on a Wednesday is because it's open, and then you can go inside. And I'm going to also, without any safety precautions, walk from the East Meridian to the West Meridian. So there we go. It's a line that goes through Waltham
Sounds
Abbey.
painful.
Oh, it is, Oh, have a smile on my face. So there we go. But if it's nice, if the bleeding cold's gone, I'll be able to do that. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for coming on the show. And please meet us 8 o'clock, same place, same time, 8 o'clock UK time for the Bowler Hat Farmer on tomorrow night's show. And that just leaves me to say, whatever happens, have a bloody good laugh. And anything you want to say, Paul, before we go?
Nothing at all other than thank you to everyone listening in, and thank you to Helen, and thanks for the invite. It's been good. Great show.
Thank you very much, and good night.